Good evening and welcome to Turner's Cross for tonight's Munster Senior Cup final. Cork City taking on Rockmount. Cork City, the holders, going for 4 Munster Senior Cups in a row. It's Colm O'Sullivan here, joined by Cork City legend and a former Rockmount player as well, George O'Callaghan. So, do you have divided loyalties tonight, George?
A little bit split. I am a Whitechurch man and Rockmount is only up the road. So, it's a tough one tonight for me.
It's going to be a tough game out there. I mean, both sides are very much up for this. Rockmount have been in the final on 4 occasions. They've lost all of them. Cork City are going for 4 Munster Senior Cups in a row. But as we know, Cork City are having a poor season. They're on a bad run of form. They lost here again against Bows on Monday or on Sunday night. But I mean, it's a different lineup tonight for Cork City. But Rockmount will make it tough for City.
Yeah, Rockmount are a very good team. They're very streetwise. There's a lot of older lads that have a lot of experience in the Munster Senior League. You know, you look at the Ken Howies. You know, you got Brendan on goal. You got young O'Murphy up front. And it's a night really, I suppose, for a Cork City player. You don't really particularly want to be playing in this game because you want to be playing in the first team. So it's kind of like, what reaction do the lads that got left out on Sunday have? What way can the young lads adjust? Because it's going to be tough physically for them to come up against a Rockmount team like this.
I suppose it's an opportunity for some players who are featuring tonight, who kind of came on as subs on Sunday, the likes of Darragh O'Connor, Corey Galvin and so on, to maybe stake a claim to feature against Waterford at the weekend in the league. Yeah,
and that's what I was saying. I think, you know, especially with Darragh O'Connor, you know, a player like that really should be starting on Sunday. Should have been starting. He's probably disappointed. He's a point to prove tonight. He probably, as I said, doesn't want to be playing in this game, but he's got to go out and show Fenny what he's got and show that he's improving and show that desire that he needs to get back in the first team.
Liam Boston is in the side tonight for Cork City in goal. He hasn't featured here since the Finn Harps game when he got injured earlier on in the season. He was left on the bench on Sunday in favour of Mark McNulty. McNulty made a bit of an error for the goal earlier on, so I mean there's a place up for grabs there. They're going to be fighting it out for the season, you'd imagine, McNulty and Boston for that first number 1 choice goalkeeper. So it's an opportunity for Boston to stake a claim again.
Yeah, I think so, and I think maybe Nults was after resigning to the fact that he was going to be second choice this season. You know, he got the injury, Boston against Finn Harps, you know, he had a nasty little injury, and then you think Nults has got his chance to come in and take the place for the rest of the season, but then when COVID comes in, and the gap then is like no look for Nults really. You know, I thought maybe he should have done better with the goal on Sunday. Boston's there. He is a good keeper. Whether he'll be here in the next few weeks, we don't know. Yeah. But it'd be then, and I say it's all about attitude tonight. You know, you don't win these games because it's going to be hard fought. You know, you're not going to get nothing with the easy with the Rockmount boys, and it'll be actually interesting just to see like what kind of character the lads that were left out, what they have tonight.
I think even just confidence-wise, it'd be important for Cork City to get a win here, for Neil Fenn to get a trophy, albeit the Munster Senior Cup, and just to kind of get that kind of confident mentality and kind of winning mentality back, because they've been on an awful run all season, really. Yeah,
do you know what? Look, there's no getting away from it. They have been very poor. I think Fenny, you know, he looks like he has a lot of problems to be solved in the team. Yeah. I know from when I came back in these days at Cork City, we didn't really take it seriously until Pat Dolan came back. And then he used to come back and give the big thing about, you know, it's the Munster Senior Cup. And you
the Rebel Army.
Yeah, you're champions of Munster. And then all of a sudden, they used to be under pressure to win it. So, but I'd be wondering what kind of way Fenny is thinking about this game. Is he just thinking it's a run-out for the lads or what? But, you know, it's going to be like fascinating kind of like 90 minutes just to see which way they do approach it. Because, as I say, Fenny can't really afford to have any more losses, and especially not to a local team like Rockmount. So, it's going to be a tough night for him.
It is going to be a tough night for him tonight. Let's have a look at the teams. Then we'll start with Cork City, and Liam Boston is in goal for Cork City. A back four of Ronan Hurley. They have Slevin and O'Brien at centre half, and then Isa Cargbo, his brother Eunice was playing on Sunday against Bows. He's in at full back as well. Then you have McCarthy, you have Desmond Bargery's in as well. We mentioned Corey Galvin. Darragh O'Connor, who came on as a sub and looked lively on a Sunday against Bohemians, features as well this evening, and Ricardo Dinanga is going to be up front for Cork City as well. Then a very experienced goalkeeper, Brendan O'Connell, is in goal for Rockmount tonight. They've got O'Connell, Hoey, Ken Hoey, as you mentioned, George, O'Driscoll and Sexton across the back. Duggan, Carson is there. You've Hanley, Ahern and Kevin O'Connell as well across the midfield, and Murphy up front. What do you make of those team lineups?
Well, one thing for certain, Rockmount are going to not in the big games, and Billy's under pressure. Billy Cronin, he normally does go kind of a little bit negative, so I think Rockmount will definitely set up with a 4-5-1. I think Kevin O'Connell wants to play as a centre forward, but he'll be probably pushed out to the wing. Murphy will play up top because he just has a bit more speed. Yeah. Duggan will play on the right. But that's one of my concerns tonight. I just wonder how Cork City set up against him, because I think if you watch the first team on Sunday, they were very negative, and if Rockmount would have come negative, it's not going to look for a great game. No. So let's hope, you know, there's a bit of attacking football, and Rockmount and Cork City show their qualities that they have, and they can go and prove to everyone like why they are League of Ireland players, and the lads are still playing the Munster Senior League.
Well, the Rockmount team are on the pitch. They're warming up in front of the shed end at the moment. The Cork City team just coming out onto the field now on a wet night in Turner's Cross as they go for 4 Munster Senior Cups in a row. You mentioned, George, that Cork City have been kind of negative in the last few games. Do you think they need to be more attacking in general?
Well, I think when you play for Cork City and what the Cork City fans expect, they want to see attacking football. And I know I keep going back to my own career. I remember we played a season, we won every home game, we lost every away game, but the fans were happy because they've seen goals and attacking play. And I think even before lockdown, there wasn't much attacking in the side. You know what I mean? It looked negative. It's one up front. It's normally a small lad up front. So for me, with the results the way they're going, I don't see why they don't go out attacking and try to attack more. So I hope Fenny gets that. I did send Fenny a text the other night saying he should do that. I don't know if he appreciated that, so I hope he's listening to me.
Hopefully he's listening to Georgie's advice, and hopefully we'll see some goals for Cork City here tonight as they take on Rockmount in the Munster Senior Cup. We just hope to see goals in general in the game tonight and make an exciting Munster Senior Cup final here at Turner's Cross. As we said, it's a wet evening, a bit in contrast to Sunday's match here, and the pitch is looking very, very well. The pitch obviously has been used a lot less than it normally would here at Turner's Cross. It's renowned for having a lot of games, a lot of local cup finals, certainly at certain times a year, and obviously Cork City playing here on a regular basis as well. So the pitch does get cut up here quite a bit, but it's a good surface in general, and it's looking really, really well here, because for the first time in God knows how long, Turner's Cross has had 5 months without any matches of any grade or any competition on it whatsoever. So hopefully it'll make for a nice surface and some good football tonight, George.
Yeah, and do you know what, Turner's Cross, when it has the break, I think when it went into the summer football, they gave it that chance to, be a lovely surface, and that's what it is now. I know the Rockin' boys up in Whitechurch, they're used to the wind and rain. Yeah. Even in the summer, it's windy and raining up there. So
it's always cold in Rockmount Park, isn't it?
So I just wonder as the night goes along, and if the conditions do worsen, you just wonder what kind of way the Cork City lads will be. It would obviously suit the Rockmount boys. But, the pitch is going to be slick for the first 20-30 minutes anyway, so let's see can they get passing the ball around and just show a bit of sharpness really from the Cork City side. But as I said, it's going to be a physical night because the Rockmount boys are going to be well up for this. This is their big cup final. They want to beat Cork City. So it's not going to be an easy night for any of the Cork City boys.
As we mentioned, Rockmount have been in 4 Munster Senior Cup finals. They've yet to win one, so they really want to get that trophy on the board and get one over on Cork City. Cork City have a young, inexperienced side out. Rockmount have a very, very physical and very experienced side out. That could be a factor tonight as well. And as you mentioned, George, they might have the better side, kind of physicality.
Yeah, I think even looking here, you can see the size of the Rockmount lads compared to the City boys. But sometimes it's about quality, sometimes it's about work rate, and the Cork City lads are going to have to outwork the Rockmount boys, because if you can outwork them, then normally the skill and what you have shines through. So it's going to be one of those nights where they're going to have to work really hard and then show what kind of class they have on top of that.
Absolutely. Well, the game underway here at Turner's Cross, and it is Rockmount on the early attack. They're just waiting here for a ball for a throw-in, and a football is thrown from the other side. Shortage of footballs here at Turner's Cross early doors tonight. Hopefully they've got a few more in reserve somewhere. But it's going to be a throw-in on the far side of the pitch there for Rockmount as they go on the attack and look for an early goal here against Cork City. Down on the right wing here now, Cork City trying to defend this, and a little bit scrappy so far, but Rockmount in possession. Cork City win it back, and it's out for another throw-in.
I think that's going to be really important for Rockmount tonight, that they get hold of the ball up front. They have the tendency sometimes to play players that don't get hold of the ball, but they're really going to need that tonight with the amount of possession that Cork City are going to have.
Do you expect Cork City to be the team more in possession, George?
Yeah, I think so. You got to think like the Cork City boys are training full time. They're training every day. The Rockmount boys are only in maybe twice a week. So that there's a big difference when you get to train like that. But as I say, it's going to be a battle midfield. It looks all clogged up in the midfield already. So it's going to take just somebody with a bit of guile to get through the game and maybe create those chances that needs to be done. That's
Niall Hanley from Rockmount conceding a free kick there, with Carbo taking the throw for Cork City. And the ball now with Ronan Hurley. Into Corey Galvin in the centre midfield for City. Plays it forward towards Darragh O'Connor, but he loses possession. And Rockmount back in possession and on the attack here. But Denanga, who looks to be very physical, very, very strong for Cork City tonight, winning the ball there again.
You got young Owen Murphy there as well. He's going to be relishing this game. His brother plays for Galway, and big Cork City fans all their life, so he can get a bit moody keen. So it's going to be a good one watching him for the first half down here anyway. But I think when you look at it now, even like Rockmount's right wing is nearly
Cork City on the attack. Had a shot away in anger there, but it comes to nothing.
Yeah, I think when you look at Rockmount already, their wingers are nearly playing like full backs already, you know. So it's something that they did last week against Carrigaline. They kind of set up that way to stop the team. So they're probably looking that way again now with Cork City.
Very experienced goalkeeper Brendan O'Connell about to take the goal kick for Rockmount. Played with various clubs around Cork. Began his career with Riverstown as a schoolboy. Went over and trialled to a lot of English clubs. And he currently captains the Irish junior team as well. He's over 60 caps for Ireland. So, I mean, he's a really, really, as Munster senior league keepers go, he's one of the really experienced guys, George.
Yeah, Brendan's a very good keeper. He's probably best at shot stopping. He's a really good shot stopper. Can be sometimes under the cross. He can be a bit suspect. But, you know, he's had a fantastic career in the amateur leagues. And as I say, he's captain of the Irish team. So that says it all, really.
Ronan Hurley with the throw for Cork City now on the far side. Back to Boston in goal.
I think even watching now, look how deep Rockmount are already. There's plenty of room in midfield for somebody to drop in for Cork City.
It's Corey Galvin. Plays it out wide. Back to Galvin. Rob Slevin now on the ball. Plays it back to Galvin. Galvin looks lively in the midfield already, George, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's a nice little footballer, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Just see whether he's clever enough to suss things out tonight. You know, there's a lot of balls that come in. He can just knock around the corner into his front man.
It's a long ball from O'Brien. Inviting, but there's probably going to be too much on that. And Hurley fails to keep it in play for Cork City. And it's a goal kick again for the Rockmount keeper, Brendan O'Connell. It's early attacking from Cork City, but again, it's that long ball coming from the back, which was something we saw a lot under John Caulfield's style of play, and we've seen it a bit in recent games under Neil Fenn as well.
But I think that's what happens when you're struggling as a team and as a squad. You know, sometimes, I think even on Sunday, if you watch the game, you know, we get a free kick like at the centre circle, it goes to one centre back, out to the full back, back to the centre back, back to the goalie, and then Nults was kicking it long. So it would have just made more sense just to lump it from the halfway line instead of going all the way back.
Yeah.
You know, so it looks like you're playing football, but you're not really.
But I think, as you mentioned, George, when a team is struggling, they have to resort to that, don't they? I mean, it's all well and good saying to play lovely football, but I mean, you need, it's all about survival, and it's all about winning games and scoring goals as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, they go on about courage in football, and they go on about big tackles and big headers, but it's a lot more courage to get on the ball and create things, you know, because if you lose the ball or you make a mistake, you know, people are going to be on your back. And I think Cork City have lacked that for the last, 18 months. They don't really have them kind of footballers that they had previously that could, could get their foot on the ball and pass it and try to create things. But they're certainly lacking that, and it's a shame really, because we've always had those kind of players in Cork City.
It is what they're lacking this season. It does seem to be a goal scorer, and even going back into last season. So you'd hope that maybe someone can shine tonight and bang in a few goals and possibly feature in the league games later on in the season.
Yeah, but I think tonight's a big night for Dara O'Connor, because he's here playing. He obviously wanted to play on Sunday, but he has the quality. Maybe if he just worked a bit harder and just showed that bit of class that he has, but we don't really see it that often. I think. Yeah. There last year, maybe he showed glimpses of it every now and again and got a couple of goals. But he needs to be dominating the game. But if you look at his position now, he's not really in position to pick up the ball. So he needs to go find the ball and be on it.
I spoke about Dara O'Connor on the radio on Sunday as well, and he was called the Irish Messi, and an instant pressure put on him by Pat Dolan when he arrived. And Rockmount on the attack here now, but it's well defended by Cork City, and it's back with Boston out to O'Brien, and O'Brien has plenty of room to move forward here for Cork City. It'll be interesting to see what he does here. Will he play the same long ball? He looks for that same long ball again.
He's got away with
across
that
the far side. It just about got away with it. But Rockmount are wrapping up the Cork City attacks just as Bohemians were on Sunday.
It's better.
And it's Corey Galvin on the ball again. Here's Cargbo. Cargbo doing well to hold off the Rockmount player there and wins the free kick in a dangerous position for Cork City. And this is the kind of position Cork City want to be in to create here now, George.
It is, but look, this is what I talk about. They're going to go back now again, look.
Cargbo does go back to O'Brien. Plays it across to Slevin. Slevin looks forward, but goes over to Hurley. Denanga. There's no need for Boston to be that far forward there, really, is there?
No, there's not, but Rockmount are really, really deep, I think maybe they worry about the pace of Ken Howie maybe in behind. Yeah. He normally plays the sweeper in a 3-5-2, but he's playing in a 4-4-2 tonight. So
and he's a hugely experienced player for Rockmount, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been great. And, in the Munster Senior League, he's had a great career, and with the Irish amateur teams as well. But he's a leader, and the lads always say he's still the fittest in training, and he's nearly 40. So, he's still outrunning the young lads, so he keeps himself good.
Here's Darragh O'Connor again. Back to O'Brien again, squares it across to Slevin. That's Corey Galvin again. Galvin looked to create something here for Cork City. He does well. Looking to get across in, but Rockmount are defending well here too.
I think Billy Cronin's definitely come and park the bus there tonight anyway, the way it looks.
Hoping to sneak something at some stage, you'd imagine. Here's Darragh O'Connor again in a dangerous position for City. He looked to get one off for Denanga. But a great tackle there from Hoey in the Rockmount defence.
If you've ever been to a Rockmount game, it's going to be an experience watching Billy Cronin on the line.
He's full of life there, and the masked fourth official is giving out mad to him. Cork City going back again, and the ball seems to be going back to O'Brien and Slevin quite a lot at the moment. The two centre halves for Cork City. Here's Denanga onto Corey Galvin, plays it off, and a long ball forward by the Rockmount number 7 Owen Murphy, but straight to Liam Bosson in the Cork City goal. And it's a Rockmount throw in on the far side. Kevin O'Connell lays the ball off. And it goes back to Ken Hoey. Back to Brendan O'Connell in the Rockmount goal. Oh. O'Connell lets that slip, but there's nobody there to take advantage of that. You can see the surface probably is a bit slippy tonight, George.
It is, but that's the way you want to when you're a footballer. The ball flies around, you gotta have a good touch. I remember lots of times when we played in Europe when the pitches would be dry and they didn't want you to play football, or if you go up to like Drogheda and all these places. So, it probably does suit the City lads that they can fire the ball around. But as we said before the game, it looks like the way Rockmount, are going to set up kind of negative in that kind of formation.
Here's Darragh O'Connor again for Bargery. Lays it off for Corey Galvin. But Rockmount are marshalling the Cork City players well. Here's Carbo looking to create something. Get across away, straight to the hands of Brendan O'Connell. It looked like straight to the hands of Brendan O'Connell, but Denanga got in there and managed to win a corner for Cork City.
I think he's got to be a bit more dominant there, the goalie, doesn't he, with a shout?
Absolutely, he needs to be more physical in that situation. But Denanga is a physical presence for Cork City up front, which is something that they've quite possibly lacked in recent times. Cross swung in, but it comes to nothing. Here's Ronan Hurley, he'll go back to Bosson. Boston looks up and out to Cargbo on the right hand side of the pitch. Cargbo to Darragh O'Connor. Still O'Connor, turns well inside. Looking to find Denanga. He doesn't find Denanga. He finds Hoey in the Rockmount defence, who puts it out for a throw in.
It looks like they've tried to double up on Kevin or on Darragh O'Connor. So young Key Murphy is playing basically like a left back, along with James O'Connor, who's actually right footed, and he's playing left back. So they're obviously concerned about him.
Denanga with a header. Oh. And the referee gives Cork City a free kick. James O'Connell with looked like a tackle. You could certainly hear the tackle, but it didn't look too much in it, George.
No, I think he's unlucky there. He's going to kick the ball and he's coming from behind. But Cork City are lucky to get a free kick there. But Rockmount will be feeling aggrieved, as you'll probably hear from every single one of them.
They're a vocal team. You could certainly hear that, and they're taking that from the manager on the sideline as well, as you said, who's very, very vocal. And you can hear they're reacting badly to everything the ref does, but that's the experience again, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've always been like that, and I think, sometimes in the League of Ireland and in the Munster League, they try bully the referee to try get those results or get those decisions that they need. So it's going to be like that all night anyway for the next 90 minutes.
It's Desmond, or it's O'Connor actually with the free kick. Headed away by the Rockmount defence.
That's you got
Desmond again to Cargbo.
You got Kevin O'Connell there, he plays centre forward for the Irish under 23 amateur team. But Kevin just seems to be lost at the minute, just running around, nothing into his feet. And he's the type of player that needs to play up front. He was with Yeovil a couple of years ago. He nearly got signed by Yeovil. But if you look at him there, he's basically playing as a centre midfielder when he's a target man.
It's always tough for a player like that in a position, and you can see that he does look a little bit lost there. Owen Murphy looking to create a chance for Rockmount there, but it comes to nothing again. And Rockmount are on the attack here now again. It's Daniel Duggan looking to get through there. Out to Owen Murphy on the left. Goes past Cargbo, gets a shot away, but it's easily saved by Liam Boston in the Cork City goal. That's good attacking play, George, by Rockmount.
See, Rockmount have those players, it's just sometimes the way they set up. They have some really good attacking players like Murphy, Kevin O'Connell, Dougie. When they get the chance and they get time like that, they can produce. But look where Murphy is back now. He's back nearly playing as a left back now again already. So it must be frustrating when you do have the quality that they have, but they just don't have that freedom sometimes to play the way they want.
And Brendan O'Connell easily wraps up that shot. Kicks it along. Headed down by Ronan Hurley. O'Brien forward for Cork City, finds Corey Galvin. Galvin lays it off to Hurley on the left. Hurley might have just taken a little too much out of that, but he doesn't. And Bargery gets a shot away. Kevin O'Connell for Rockmount.
He's done well to win a free kick there. It
was Rob Slevin giving the free kick away there. And Rockmount will look to make something of this now. It's the keeper, Brendan O'Connell, looking to take it. Will he go long again here, do you think, George?
I think he's definitely set up to go that way anyway. He's probably going to try hit Kevin O'Connell, and they're going to look for the second ball. Conditions are starting to change now also.
Some heavy rain falling here at Turner's Cross as Brendan O'Connell does go long with that free kick. And I think he totally skewed that, and it goes out for a Cork City throw-in. That's not what he was looking to do at all there.
He hasn't really started with great concentration, has he? He's a couple of things he hasn't done well. So he needs to kind of get a bit more focused into the game.
Ronan Hurley with the throw for Cork City on the far side. It's back to Liam Bosson. Here's Jake O'Brien. A good young prospect at centre half for Cork City, Jake O'Brien.
I was actually speaking to Liam Carney recently about him. Carney really rates him. He thinks he's really come on as a player. Said he's a very good young lad.
He's a very young guy, but he's got a real physical presence about him.
He does look like a proper centre back, doesn't
he? He's built for a centre back.
Yeah.
Ref doesn't give the foul on Darragh O'Connor. Cork City might feel aggrieved and not getting a free kick from that there. But again, that's the slippy conditions coming into play. And it's Jason Sexton who'll take the throw in here for Rockmount. Kevin O'Connell chases that all the way, but easily dealt with by Boston, and it's O'Brien again on the ball for Cork City. Squares it across to Slevin. Slevin going straight through the middle here. Looking for Cargbo, but it's easily headed out for a throw-in.
It's just a little bit slow from Cork City, isn't it? It's kind of predictable.
Here's O'Brien again. Desmond finds Ronan Hurley. And back to Boston. It seems to be going back to Boston quite a bit so far.
He's basically playing like a sweeper, isn't he?
He is. He's out where a sweeper would be as well. Here's O'Brien. He's looking for help. He's looking for someone to show for him. And it's a good ball. Trying to find Cargbo, but just a little bit too much on it again, George. And they're trying that quite a bit to hit it over there. But it hasn't come to anything as of yet. But that will get predictable if they keep going down the same lines.
Yeah, they've tried it now a few times, you know, and it has been on, but they just haven't executed the pass good enough. But I think the Rockmount lads are kind of wary to that now, you know, and I think, you know, you have Driscoll and Howie, they'll know what's coming now for the rest of the game. They're going to look for the diags and try get in the wingers on the left-hand side, so it's something that they will be taking notice of.
Brendan O'Connell with the goal kick here now in the Rockmount goal. Straight down the middle of the pitch. But as Jake O'Brien wins the header again. And Ronan Hurley on the ball now for Cork City. Hurley with a good run forward here. He's got space. Will he try the shot? He does. But straight into the Rockmount player. Slevin. O'Brien. And a Sexton puts it out for a throw, which Cargbo will take now for City. He looks for Darragh O'Connor. He finds him. O'Connor dispossessed it out for that throw again. Here's Denanga. A little bit of skill, but gets to nothing. And here's Kevin O'Connell. Hanley forward, looks for O'Connell again, but it just rolls out for a throw. And O'Connell trying to keep that in, but just fails to do so. Cargbo throws it back to O'Brien. Rockmount bench are upset about something there, George, that I think we missed. Did you spot it?
I think James O'Connell's got into a little bit of fisticuffs with Corey Galvin. James O'Connell he is a fiery player. He is passionate.
The ref's just having words about it, and he's coming over to the fourth official.
It's beyond me that the referee didn't see that earlier.
It looks like the fourth official is telling him that there's not a whole lot in that, but we'll see if the referee reacts here now. Looks like he's just going to speak to the two players.
Welcome to the Munster Senior League.
Welcome to the Munster Senior League, indeed. Just keep the heads, lads, early in the game, I think is what the ref is saying there. Just a bit of argy-bargy early in the game, really, isn't it?
But that's the thing, you know, probably with the refereeing, it probably is a bit easier to get away with things in the Munster League. So they are tough lads, you know. And you can see where Rockmount are, they're very physical. And even though Kevin's one of the smaller ones, you know, he still has the fight like all the others. And when you have a bench like that everyone's screaming, you know, the players are going to...
And it's more noticeable when there's not a crowd here.
Yeah. Because I've seen Rockmount in the last couple of years, but, you know, I think the players kind of get... The sideline gets ammunited, and then they all want the players start to go down the same way, so...
It's another throw for Cork City down that right-hand side. On the attack here is Darragh O'Connor. Here's Desmond. He plays it back to O'Brien, again across to Slevin.
I can tell you now.
This is Eddie McCarthy.
If you're a Cork City player and you can hear all them shouting and their players' reactions diving into tackles, you're thinking, oh my God, here we go for the next.
It kind of makes it like a home game for Rockmount because there's not much noise coming from the Cork City bench. Cork City with a throw in on the far side here now. Bargery is going to lose his possession there. No fouls as the referee. It's back with Slevin and O'Brien. I think those two centre halves have touched the ball more than anyone in this game so far.
They look like Pearl, the two of them. There's that much time. Look at the space he has to go in. He should go into that space.
He should, and he will. Huge space for O'Brien. Plays it forward for Denanga now. Denanga lays it off. It's back with O'Brien.
Brilliant skill.
Lovely. Darragh O'Connor, will he keep that in? He does. Plays it across. But it's out for a corner kick for Cork City.
He just doesn't seem to be alive at the minute, Darragh O'Connor, does he?
He really doesn't, and he didn't seem to suit too lively either on Sundays, apart from a couple of incidents when he came on. Just saying, Jason Sexton there, George, looks like an imposing presence in the defence for Rockmount as well.
Glad, yeah, he does well. plays on the left hand side sometimes as well for him. But you know, you look at these corners, like, you know, who's going to win a header here for Cork City? Look at the size of the Rockmount lads.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but it's swung in and it fails to beat the first man. It's Rockmount here now with it again. Ronan Hurley wins the ball. Back to Cargbo, the only man back there for City. Liam Bosson up by the centre circle. I think it's clear the fact that Boston can come so far up, so much so far, George, that Rockmount really aren't pressing at all.
No, and you know, as I said in the Carrigaline game, they done very similar. They were worried about the Carrigaline's left wing, and they kind of overcrowded that the way they have done tonight with on the right wing with Cork City. But you know, apart from a few tackles, you know, they're really sitting back, showing them a bit too much respect.
The referee gives a free out for Rockmount.
It's amazing how many times Ken Howie's in the right position, you know. He just knows the game so well, reads it so well.
It's all experience, over 20 years of experience with Rockmount.
Yeah, you know, and he kind of started kind of right back, and then he was like playing sweeper. Now he's back into a centre back position, you know, because he's not the tallest of lads. But in there with Driscoll, you know, he's always going to be cleaning up. They've had a great partnership and understanding for the last few years. So they know, and same with Carson. You know, Carson used to play for Cove Ramblers. You know, they all know their games inside out. So they're well oiled. They're well oiled in the Munster Senior League.
Bargery now for Cork City. It's a good prospect, Cian Bargery, for Cork City, and he's on the attack here. Denangle try and keep that in Cork City possession, but he fails to do so. Sexton. The referee gives a free out for that challenge. The Rockman player is down.
I think he knows what he's doing there, doesn't he? He's
think so.
named Chalky. He's young Chalky. His dad's a referee. Chalky. Yeah. His two sons, they're both Chalky. They're three more Chalky. So it's easy to talk to when you meet him. All right, Chalky.
Just say all right, Chalky, and you're safe enough.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing there, just slowing down play. Wins the free out for Rockmount. Again, Brendan O'Connell and the Rockmount goal going to take it. Again goes that long ball out to the right hand side.
It's such a contrast though, isn't it?
But Duggan doesn't win the header.
Cork City get it, they're trying to play from the back. As soon as Rockmount get a free kick like that, you know, they all push up and they're just like hitting the long ball, you know. So City are going to try play out now again here.
And this is Desmond for Cork City, Luke Desmond. But he loses possession. That's Murphy again. And Murphy wins another free kick. A bit further up the pitch this time.
He's brilliant at that.
Yeah. He seems to be skilled in the art of winning the free kicks, doesn't he?
He's definitely a Marmite player in the Munster Senior League. You know, the other teams hate playing against him.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's Danny Ahern, who we mentioned earlier as well. Going to take the free kick for Rockmount.
Danny is
looking to create something.
Well,
it's an in. Nice little header away by Darragh O'Connor. He won't be used to winning, a man of his stature, too many headers in that area of the pitch.
You know, they spoke recently about putting a Cork City team into the Munster Senior League, but if you look at, like, if you want the players to grow physically and get used to a man's game, like, it's probably a good idea to do that.
It's a good idea, and it's something they had many years ago, George, probably even before your time at Cork City. If you went back to the late 90s and early 90s, they had a team in the Munster Senior League, the Cork City reserve team, and it did help a lot of guys. I saw Neil Horgan speaking about it recently, who came through to kind of get a bit of experience in proper men's football rather than just playing for under-19s all the time.
Because no matter what you say, there is such a difference when you're playing against grown men like this. You know that been there and done that.
Builds a toughness, I suppose, doesn't it?
But that's what you need. You need a toughness, you know. And I think a lot of players, when they go to England, they don't realise how quick and how tough it is, you know. And they ask, like, why didn't they succeed? But you know, you gotta have everything. You gotta have that toughness. You gotta have that, you know, ability on the ball. But you know, as I say tonight, it's such a learning curve. I played in a lot of these games when I was younger with Port Vale and games like this, and you know, you come off the game like in, you know, during half time, you wish you
corner swung in by Kevin O'Connell for Rockmount, but it's won by the imposing presence of Jake O'Brien in the Cork City defence. Corey Galvin looks to win that, but it goes out for a Rockmount throw in.
The last thing Cork City need now is to give Rockmount a bit of confidence, you know.
Murphy fails to do anything with that. Ronan Hurley with the throw in here now for Cork City on the far side. He's a guy who's been in and out of the Cork City team quite a bit in recent times, going back to the early part of the season under John Caulfield last year, when he had a bit of a howler on his debut here at Cork City, and Caulfield took him off at half time. But he's looked better since in some games that he's played, and Carbo goes for the diving header for Cork City. Comes to nothing and misses it. Here's Desmond. Oh, and a nice header by Cian Bargery. Not too far away, just over the bar.
It's a great ball, isn't it?
Absolutely lovely ball in there by Eddie McCarthy.
Carson had a little chance, he probably should have cleared it, just flicked it off him, but kind of let it go. So it's a good play, it's better from Cork City.
And you want to see more of that from Cork City now, and it's good to see a player like Eddie McCarthy into the team who wouldn't have featured much for City at all yet, and creating a chance like that for another young player, Bargery. Brendan O'Connell will be happy enough playing in front of an empty shed tonight as well, won't he?
I think everyone, if you're an away team, is happy playing in front of an empty shed.
Was the shed an advantage? It was the old shed in your time, George, certainly when you won the league in 2005. Did they give you that confidence kind of sometimes spurge you on a bit?
Yeah, the shed was amazing, you know, and you'd actually spend the whole game just looking forward trying to score a goal into it, you know, you'd be trying so hard. But you do miss it, you know, I know it's there and the new stand looks great, but there was something magical about that old shed. The old shed,
it was real hardcore kind of proper football fans and so on in there, and there was noise generated and there was fantastic. And I always thought, like, for a Cork City player, it must be amazing to run up and celebrate, and that as you did a few times yourself, even on your debut.
Yeah, it's funny, I scored in my debut in front of the shed against Shells, but I think the shed is probably was the best stand, and still is in Irish football, you know, because we obviously have the best fans. But yeah, it was just amazing night, you know, and I would just be playing Flinny used to normally score and take all the credit. So
you used to set him up and Flinny used to bang him in, and then you'd contribute a few yourself from time to time as well.
Nobody cared about assist, did they?
No, you never get the glory for an assist. Here's McCarthy again, well tackled. Here's Murphy for Rockmount, looking to create something. Cork City looking quite solid in defence, and that's back to Boston. Here's Slevin. O'Brien plays it forward to Corey. Galvin turns nicely, probably too much on that for Galvin, and there isn't. It's a good tackle. Carbo tries to keep that in Cork City possession, but Niall Hanley now on the left for Rockmount. Carbo wins it back, and Hanley wins it back again. Hanley's doing well here. Plays it back to Murphy. Murphy swings the cross in, but it's straight into the hands of Liam Boss, and that's better from Rockmount, George.
Yeah, they look a lot brighter, you know, and Hanley is a very good player. He's one of the better players for Rockmount. And if they could just get that combinations and be a little bit more confident in going forward and trust the team, I think, you know, they would create Cork City a lot more problems. But I think it starts again from, you know, Boston's basically playing as a sweeper, but it's slowing the whole game down. There's no kind of pace coming out of the back four, you know, it's giving Rockmount time to set up. So, you know, they really need to get somebody in midfield, you know, and just up the pace of the game, you know, and play the League of Ireland tempo rather than what they're playing with Rockmount. They're kind of playing into their hands.
And that's been a similar pattern from Cork City in a lot of games this season. I mean, something that Cork City have struggled for, and we spoke about this off air today as well, George, I mean, is goals. And they've one goal in 6 league games, which really isn't good enough for a team like Cork City and a club like Cork City.
No, it isn't. And, you know, the thing about it is watching is, like, you don't know where the goals are going to come from even when you watch the games. So it's something that I'm surprised, you know, Fenny being an attacking player and such, you know, the way he played as a number 10, I thought he kind of have that style. But then again, you look at McGlade's come in, he hasn't done a whole lot. Yeah. You know, Darragh Connor's kind of in and out, you know, so, you know, maybe, like, you know, the players need to kind of look at themselves and see can they work harder and train harder, and maybe I just kind of try help Fenny out a little bit. But you know, certainly the signings haven't looked that good going forward.
You mentioned the likes of McGlade, and he had quite a bad reaction to being taken off on Sunday over on the far side of the pitch. Kicked the advertising hoarding, kicked a water bottle. It's not really something you want to see from guys, is it?
Well, it was the only thing he kicked.
It's true.
Because he didn't have a great game. I don't know why he's reacting like that, because it does no favours to the management either, you know. But I haven't really seen the lad have a good game since he came. You know, I love to see the quality that he shows in his clips on YouTube, but we definitely haven't seen that down in Cork yet. Here's
Tara O'Connor for Cork City, looking in a good position here, tries to get a shot away, but wins the corner. And Dara does have the ability to kind of create chances like that out of nothing. He can just kind of turn and twist, and he just doesn't do it often enough, I think.
No, that's the thing, and it's so frustrating watching him, you know. I often watch and I just want to get hold of him and just tell him what to do. Because he should drop in a bit more, and kind of create things. I think sometimes he stands there and wants to get marked. He should get away from it.
Here he is again. Lovely skill from Darragh O'Connor. Battling with Hoy in the Rockmount defence.
Going to get a kick there anyway.
Little bit of aggro from Hoy there, which Darragh O'Connor doesn't seem too happy about, and the linesman gets involved. Ref is having words with Hoy, but it'll come to nothing.
We haven't had a yellow card yet, have we?
No. Won't be long, I reckon.
Yeah. I think that was the bet of the night.
Here's Brendan O'Connell. Sexton tries to flick on, but it goes to Desmond for Cork City. Back to Slevin.
He's got to drive in there now. Look at the space. Look at it.
O'Brien has plenty of space here again. Yeah. He goes to that long ball, right to left, which he seems to like a lot.
It's too predictable now, isn't it?
It's predictable. It was Sean McLaughlin used to do it a lot last season as well. McCarthy back to Boston in the Cork City goal. Boston has plenty of options here. And he goes with O'Brien. O'Brien with loads of space again. Again, that long ball, right to left. I mean, he's playing that ball all the time, and it's not going anywhere really.
But it suits Rockmount out to the ground, like they got Carson out there, who's brilliant in the air, so and he knows what's coming, he's played in the League of Ireland. But just surprised Fenny hasn't said anything to him yet, because he's standing right next to him.
He'll have words, don't worry, at some stage. And if he doesn't, Joe Gamble will.
Joe definitely will anyway.
And he fails to keep that in possession for Rockmount. Back to Corey Galvin for Cork City. Slevin now again. Here's O'Brien again. Forward for Dinanga.
He's held the ball up well, hasn't he?
He has. He's done all right. Tries to lay it off to Cargbo there. And there's going to be the first booking of the night now, George. We spoke too soon about a minute ago. And Cargbo's going to get that. And again, you feel that the reaction of the Rockmount bench and how vocal they are, it could sway the referee a little bit.
Yeah. Chalky knows what he's doing there. Like if anything, Chalky's that was a free kick, but his reaction and that's what I'm saying about being streetwise. And you got to look at him there. He's a young lad. He isn't big physically, but he's got to learn quickly and learn how to get all these kind of little tricks that you need to survive in the game.
And they're very important at every level, but certainly at a level like the Munster Senior League, aren't they? Hoey shepherds that out, and it's a Rockmount goal kick. And we've got about 10 minutes left in the first half here. Here's Murphy again, plays it forward. He was looking to play Daniel Duggan through there. It
was a great idea.
Bit too much on it, straight to Boston. Here's Desmond. Slevin.
There's nobody showing for the ball in the midfield, is there?
Plays it out to McCarthy. He was looking for options, but he's going to have to go back, isn't he? And he goes back to Slevin once more. Slevin under pressure here from Hanley. And all the way back to Boston. You're right, they're looking for options, but the options don't seem to be showing for them. O'Brien powering forward again here. Cargbo. Easily dealt with by Sexton. It's Murphy again, powering forward now for Rockmount. Plays it through the middle. And nicely won by Desmond. Forward to Darragh O'Connor. O'Connor has some space here. Finds Dinanga, lays it off for Bargery. At least tries to lay it off for Bargery. And the referee gives a free kick to Cork City. Hanley loses possession to Jake O'Brien. Murphy on the left here now. Does a little shimmy past Galvin. He's looked lively throughout the game as Murphy on the left.
He's a good player, you know.
Trying to go past Cargbo here. Cargbo fails to win it there. And Murphy going all the way, but he looked to get a cross in here now, surely. But Cargbo dispossesses him and tries to boot it forward, but misses the ball, and it goes out for a Rockmount throw-in.
It's been a difficult night so far for him, hasn't it?
It has.
And as I say, it's going to be a learning curve for these young players.
It's tough for these guys coming in. I mean, they're not playing regularly for Cork City, certainly at senior level. It's tough to come into against an experienced team like Rockmount.
It is, but you know, you got to take your chances when they come. You know, they don't come that often, so you got to be ready and right when it happens. And you know, he's just looked a bit lightweight tonight, hasn't he, against bigger physical lads.
Here's Darragh O'Connor. O'Connor looking, but has to go with Desmond. Desmond looking for options here. Goes with Dinanga. Plays it back out to Cargbo on the right. And Cargbo goes back to Jake O'Brien again. Here's Slevin. Slevin plays it forward, looking for Ronan Hurley. He finds him. Hurley gets a ball in, but it's cleared. Here's Hanley for Rockmount. Nice turn by Hanley. He's got options here. He's got a Hearn up with him. Hearn totally miskicks that straight into the hands of Liam Boston in the Cork City goal.
It's surprising, you know, Danny's got good quality. He used to play for Leeds and then came to Rockmount. Normally good on the ball, so he just unlucky there, bobbled up just as he was trying to pick out his pass.
Surface does look a little bit slippy here tonight as well. Here's Dinanga. Push in the back of Murphy there. Referee says there's nothing in that. And another Cork City throw-in.
Wouldn't it be refreshing just one time to see two centre forwards, a big and a small guy? I'm sick of seeing one person in front.
Yeah.
It's every game though, isn't it?
It is every game, yeah. Seems a trend, it certainly does. And was something that was very noticeable again on Sunday evening against Bows. And actually you would have expected Neil Fenn to be more attacking in some of those situations. Cargbo just about keeps that in despite the shouts from the Rockmount bench. And wins a throw-in for Cork City. Darragh O'Connor is going to take it quick. Murphy boots that away. It's Desmond. Here's Ronan Hurley for Cork City. Will he have a shot? He does take a shot. Worth an effort from there, George, but over the bar.
Yeah, it's a good idea, you know, but just didn't execute it right. A little bit quicker, a little bit better played, but you'd like to see him just have a bit more cuteness around the box when you just, you know, somebody can pick out a little pass and run in around. Like even just knocking around the midfield into the front man hasn't really happened the whole game, and it's there. Like, you know, it's so obvious to see it. So, you know, they're going to have to be a little bit brighter, a lot quicker. And I think when you're playing games like this, you got to be quicker on the ball and play quick free kicks, you know, and don't give Rockman the time to set up. But it seems to be the way they're going is just slow at the minute.
Dinanga looking to flick that on. Here's a Hearn again in the midfield for Rockmount. Plays it out to Owen Murphy. Murphy taking on Cargbo. Plays that ball forward. And Jason O'Connell in an advanced position here now. But it's won back by Corey Galvin. And again, a lot of shouts from the Rockmount bench. Galvin loses that. A good tackle by Jason Ahern.
Whoa.
And that is a bad tackle by Eddie Murphy. Just a little bit of frustration there. And the referee shows him a yellow card.
That was a poor challenge, wasn't it? And it's funny, isn't it? Because I don't think any of the Rockmount players have been booked yet. There's two Cork City players, isn't it?
As I said, I think that vocal bench is definitely going to be to Rockmount's advantage this evening. And it was something that was noticeable as well on Sunday, George. There wasn't a lot of kind of, I suppose, a lot of shouting and so on from the Cork City bench that we would have had maybe from the bench in John Caulfield's time. Joe Gamble maybe piping up a couple of times, but it was a chance for Rockmount.
What a chance.
Hanley with a header. There wasn't much in the header and a straight
he should have
to
scored
Liam Boston. He should have scored there. That's Rockmount's best chance of the game so far.
He normally puts those away as well. You know, he's had a great season so far. Fantastic ball.
Fantastic ball in, and they're the goals or the chances Rockmount need to be scoring, because you'd imagine they're not going to get too many of those chances tonight.
No, and if they take that, it's a completely different second half, isn't it? But that's the way Cork City have. Just that lack of concentration sometimes, and goal comes in. We've seen it happen with the first team as well. Just them few seconds and a little mistake, and it's a goal.
So it's Hurley with the throw for Cork City on the far side. Jake O'Brien, pressure on him here, but he plays it off to Cargbo. Cargbo finds Corey Galvin. Galvin twists and turns for Cork City, looking for help here, but he's doing okay in his own so far. Galvin, will he go all the way here, looking to get across? Ken Hoey doing well there for Rockmount. Here's Hanley battling with Jake O'Brien.
Oh.
Hanley back to Hoey. Denanga now. Denanga finds Cargbo. Cargbo looks to get across, and he does get across. And lovely little flick back from Bargery, but it didn't quite go where he wanted to a Cork City player. And Darragh O'Connor wins the free kick for City now. Cork City are looking a bit more lively, George.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They just need to sharpen up. They looked a lot sharper in the last couple of minutes. Nice little flick there. He's just unlucky not to get the shot in.
So the referee just saying calm down to Danny Ahern there. And it looks like Darragh O'Connor is going to take this free kick himself. Will he have a go from here, George? It's probably within his range.
Yeah, I think Darragh will be practicing that in training, and he's a confident lad anyway. He should go for it. Even if he could just get it to spin off the surface and just test the goalie to see how good his hands are.
It does look like O'Connor is going to have a go here. Darragh O'Connor with the free kick for Cork City. He does strike it, but it's straight at the Rockmount wall. He goes again, hits one in anger, but it's miles over the stand and into the shed end here at Turner's Cross. The rain really coming down now here at Turner's Cross as well. The surface might start to cut up a little bit. Do you think that will have an impact in the second half, George?
No, I don't think so. I think, if it did, it would probably suit Rockmount a lot better, because, I know their home pitch is a bit like it always cuts up. So the Cork City lads would want to be like, because they want to play their football out from the back. So, I think the conditions will probably come in and start suiting Rockmount more than Cork City really in the second half.
It's a sign of our social distancing times that Brendan O'Connell, the Rockmount keeper, has to go all the way up to the back of the shed where there's not a soul, not one supporter, not one staff member or club official, and get the ball himself. They're the times we live in now, George.
Yeah, that's it. It certainly is. But you say, you want leaders in Cork City, even young lads. Like, there isn't a whole lot of organising or hearing them compared to the Rockmount boys, is there?
Yeah, just for guys to be a little bit more vocal is very important as well. Murphy plays it forward as the fourth official puts up the board for 1 minute added time. So we're heading for half time here at Turner's Cross. Still Cork City 0, Rockmount 0. Will Rockmount be happier going in at 0 all at half time, George?
I think so, and I think that's fallen into their plan really. They're going to look to just see whether they can just get that goal, and break Cork City's hearts. But they did start out very negative, but they seem to be coming into the game a lot more now.
It's Cargbo with the throw. Back to O'Brien. Plays it across the back to Slevin.
The one thing I have to say, the Rockmount lads have got great commitment, haven't they?
Really great commitment so far in this first half from Rockmount.
I think it'd be
showing a lot of fight as well.
It'd be interesting to see, when you get to like the 75 minute mark, just to see whether they can keep that going. They do have a lot of good players on the bench, They've got Evan Murray there who's just come back.
There's Bargery going to have a shot. He does. Straight at Sexton. It's out for a Cork City throw on the far side. And it's Ronan Hurley. This will be a last chance of the first half for Cork City if they can create something here. Denanga finds Bargery again. Bargery swings in an inviting cross. Cargbo goes for it. And the referee blows the half-time whistle here at Turner's Cross. It's Cork City 0, Rockmount 0 going in at the break. And as we said, George, both sides will be happy enough, but you would think Rockmount will be probably the happier side to have held it at half-time.
I think so. I think Rockmount have put out a game plan, and that's what they're doing, and they're kind of doing a job on Cork City at the minute. I think Cork City lads know they're going to have to come and break them down. They've showed one or two glimpses, but I think overall on the ball, especially at the back, has been really slow build up and giving Rockmount a chance just to sit in and try get them on the break, and which they're trying to do, and what they did last week against Carrigaline, and they got a 1-0 victory. So I think Fenny will have a lot to say at half time, and lads are going to have to come out and just show a bit more character.
There's plenty of time for either side to score in the second half, but this first half has continued a season-long trend for Cork City in terms of that they haven't got a goal.
Yeah, but it just goes to show, and especially in games like this, you would expect Cork City to get a couple of goals. But as I say, we don't really seem to have nobody that can put the ball in the net. I think they've tried to bring in signings, they haven't worked. But it is kind of really, really worrying, because it's not even from this season. It was the same at the end of last season when we were doing games. And
it's actually been a problem going back almost to when Seanie Maguire left the club. Even later that season they weren't getting as many goals. Certainly last season they weren't getting as many goals then, and into this season it's been a real problem going back to certainly back into maybe even the end of John Caulfield's time, never mind Neil Fenn's time.
Yeah, and you know what, and centre forwards are the hardest things to find lads to score goals. I think since Seanie left, really, I think everyone knows that things have gone downhill since Seanie's left, and he's never been replaced, which is hard to replace Seanie Maguire anyway. But
don't think there's too many of them out there.
No, don't let Flinny hear you say that. But you know what, for me, other lads got to step up. Why can't the midfielders get goals? Why does it always have to be the strikers? Because the strikers don't look like they're going to score goals, and they have quality players that can play, but it's just trying to get it out of them, and you can see it in them, but try to pull it out of them is like so difficult.
The steady guys have got an opportunity tonight in the Cork City side. Ricardo Denanga up front. How do you think he's done? Is he a realistic option for Cork City?
He's done well. I think he's held the ball up well. He's probably lacked, again, like the first team, he's lacked support around him. I'd rather actually see Dara O'Connor. I'd rather see him just playing as a 10 right behind him and drifting around the pitch rather than being stuck out on the right all the time. And I think if they did that and just let him be a bit more, like, express themselves and more options in the team. But it seems to be rigid, and it's the way clubs play these days. It's all rigid. Players are told what to do. There's no one coming out and showing what ability they've learned playing out in the back garden when they were kids. That doesn't happen anymore, does it? They're just like computerized to do this and to track back and do that. But it's missed. And there is entertainers missed, and when you find one, they're special these days. So it's definitely a hard job to find them.
They signed 2 strikers last week. Neil Fennis signed 2 strikers from the lower leagues in England. A guy called Kid Elliott, who's a young guy. I think he's about 19 or 20 years of age. And then a 30-year-old guy, Scotty Fennick, who has a bit of experience around the leagues. I don't know if you know much about him, George, but I was looking at his stats and so on. He's got goals for clubs that he's been at, and he'll have that bit of experience coming in as a 30-year-old. So you'd hope that he could be the man to get goals for Cork City.
Yeah, but I think we've got no other choice. We better hope they do. Otherwise,
we're in trouble otherwise.
Yeah, we're in big trouble. But he has a bit of experience. But I kind of wonder this time in his career with Cova, why he's coming here. Maybe.
Do you think it's a lack of options for him?
I think so, definitely. And I think personally myself, you should go down the route. There's a lot of good teams in the championship with under 23 players, centre forwards, young lads. That are playing a lot more tougher games than this. And I wonder why the loan market doesn't maybe go for them rather than going for the loan players like from non-league football and lower things. And I think something that the club need to do is build a relationship. I know they try with Preston, but why can't they get a centre forward from Preston to come over and play 13 games and give us a hand?
You would think that relationship would be there now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but then again, it's in recruitment. And the recruitment for Cork City has been awful the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah,
and you think that goes back to the previous management, and Neil Fenn's recruitment has been poor as well.
Listen, I don't think you can slay Caulfield, because Caulfield is the best manager that
absolutely
we've had, and Caulfield did his stuff. He had a bad run and he didn't get time to fix it. So
do you think he should have got time to fix it?
I think he deserved it. Yeah, I definitely do. I do think he deserved it, but we can't keep going. But that conversation, it's all news now. But I wouldn't go back to what John did. If he made mistakes, but he done so good for the club. But I think now they probably should have known better, like what they needed to do, and get those players in that they need in recruitment. And I thought Fenny would do that with his contacts, but maybe with the break and COVID, it didn't help him. I don't know, but it's a real difficult one, and for me watching it, I kind of wonder myself about it sometimes.
Have you been disappointed in Neil Fenn overall?
It's a difficult one for me because he's my friend, and I know how much it means to him.
Yeah.
I think Fenny would obviously he's going to be upset the way it's going. He does look stressed on the sideline, and I think when he got that win against Dundalk near the end of last season, I thought maybe things would change a bit.
Similarly with the Finn Harps game this season, it just didn't kick on again.
No, and if they were lucky that night against Finn Harps as well, but they got the 3 points. But it's a tough job. They're going to have to make a decision, whether to kind of keep going on Fenny's road and do what he wants to be done, and believe in him, So it's going to be really interesting next few weeks. If they need, obviously the Waterford game is going to be huge. going to be a huge game.
It's going to be a huge game, the Waterford game, if it goes ahead at the weekend. The Sligo game then coming up as well is going to be a huge one. We've Longford in the cup in between. I mean, Waterford's and the Sligos, I was chatting to Neil Fenn today out of training, and he knows their games they need to win, and he knows that if they fail to win against Waterford and Sligo, they're in huge trouble relegation wise, and for a club like Cork City to even be talking about relegation is unimaginable.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and I think me certainly growing up and being a Cork City player, I didn't even look at the bottom of the league when we played. It wasn't something I really cared about who got relegated or not. So, it's a big culture shock for the fans as well. You look at the success they had over the last few years, with doubles and cup finals and leagues. So, it's a hard pill to take for all the fans. But, certainly like the club try to stick together and try to get those results that we need, because we all want to see him fly and we all want to see Fenny do really well. But, it's just not happening. It's just that click isn't there at the minute.
But at the same time, there's not a huge amount of points between some of the teams at the bottom. The goal difference is quite badly skewed in Cork City's favour, but that's magnified by a 6-0 defeat to Shamrock Rovers. So I mean, 1 or 2 wins, if they were to beat Waterford and beat Sligo, I know that's a lot easier said than done, and I know goals are needed for that. But then they're in a much better position again all of a sudden. Yeah,
and things can change quickly in football. A couple of weeks and a couple of results, and like I often think, if you watch the English Championship, you see teams go on a run in 2 or 3 games, and then they're up near the playoffs again rather than near the relegation. And the League of Ireland's like that. But the worst thing for us was the teams around us all won.
We'll talk about the first half here in the game tonight, George, and some of the highlights. I mean, both sides did create some chances, and we're looking here at one of the earlier incidents. And this is one of Cork City's early attacks, some of the early attacks for City. What did you make of Cork City's attacks?
They did okay, they kind of seem to break down, there by the edge of the box, or people are making the wrong decisions. But, and I keep going on about it, they just need to find that little knack. This was a great chance, maybe he could have got a better finish on it. But, I think this is Kevin O'Connell wins a free kick here. But this is where I say when he's coming out with the ball,
that's happened a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah, and he's lining them up, and I was always told playing football, never play straight balls into your footman, because they're going to get themselves you're going to get him killed. Another great chance there.
Ronan Hurley's looked lively going forward at certain times.
Howie's made some great blocks though, and say, during the game, he's reading of the game, he's always in the right position at the right time.
Darragh O'Connor trying to get one across there again, and he's been trying that a lot, but there's been nobody there for Cork City in the middle, really. There hasn't.
No, there hasn't, and there we go, giving away a silly free kick again, letting Rockmount get away with it. But James O'Connell, he's been tigerish. He's basically done a man job. That
was a nice ball in by Eddie Murphy here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was Barshui's header. That was probably City's best chance of the first half.
Yeah, he just looked, maybe he could have headed across. It's great ball, great play there from Duggan. He's winning the ball. But Rockmount show that, they're getting in for their tackles. They're winning every tackle, and they seem more hungrier, which makes me puzzled. The Cork City lads are getting paid for a living. The Rockmount lads are coming from work. And yet they're still diving in, highs in there.
I suppose the Cork City guys will be kind of not seeing the Munster Senior Cup as much of a pinnacle as the Rockmount guys do.
No, they don't. But and you know what? A lot of those younger Cork City lads, especially down the right hand side, they're rattled at the minute. And you see the lads, they get away with little tricks, throwing the balls at them and winding them up and giving them little kicks. And it's the Cork City lads that are getting booked, so that shows the cleverness of the Rockmount players. And I think if you look at it, Rockmount's had the best chance of the game.
There's that shot just at the end of the first half from Ronan Hurley there as well. That was quite a bit over the bar. That was actually further over the bar than it looked from here initially.
And
there's that tackle.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? I think so. Was this the goal chance? Yes, it was.
He's done well, Murphy, hasn't he? That was a lovely ball in from Murphy, and Hanley probably should have done a little bit better with the header.
Got a bit more connection on it. Cork City have had a lot of little balls down the side of on the right hand side of Rockmount's box, but they just haven't taken advantage of it. Nice flick there, but nobody read it. Darrag's free kick's poor, isn't it?
Could have done better with that, definitely.
Lost the head then, and he just hit a wild one.
It looked like he had decided he wanted a goal from the free kick, so he was just going to take a shot regardless then.
A nice skill here from Hanley again.
But Hanley and Murphy have looked like two very lively players for Rockmount in the first half.
But all season they've been their best players, really, especially Hanley. He's came in there last season, and everybody's talked about him in Rockmount. With Murphy, that's the way he plays. With his brother, his brother's the same in Galway. They're going to give everything. He used to play with St Mary's, and then he's come to Rockmount. But he plays as a centre forward normally, and he's out there tonight doing a job for the team. So, the thing about it, they could get caught like Cork City in the second half if they have guys. They've got Evan Murray on the bench who's got really good pace for Rockmount. As I say, if Chalky can get going, Kevin O'Connell, if he's get any of a half a chance, he's a great finisher. So Cork City have got to be careful, and Rockmount have done really well. I think they started really cagey, at the back. We looked how deep they were in the first 5 minutes, but they're growing into the game and getting more confidence.
What would Billy Cronin be saying to the Rockmount players in the dressing room at half time, do you think?
Oh, there'll be a few swear words anyway.
It's fairly standard, isn't it?
Yeah, Billy's kind of different kind of character. He on the sideline, he's all shouting and roaring. But when he goes into the change room, then he can be very calm.
Yeah.
So, you kind of see this fella there. He's like a nutter on the sideline. But, then he'll go in and he'll just have his chat, and he'll let his other coaches. They got Ethan McCarthy there. He brought him in recently from Midfield. He's a very good coach. So they'll probably be going with their ideas, and Ethan knows Cork City well as well, and all these players. So, they'll be coming up with another plan again for the second half.
Would you be thinking that Cork City or Rockmount might make any changes ahead of the second half? I mean, I'm looking at the Cork City bench here. There are a few options there. Interesting seeing Charlie Fleming on the bench, because a lot of people are speculating that he might be out injured for the rest of the season. He seems to be coming back a lot sooner than people expected as well.
Yeah, maybe like Gordon Waters would be a nice one to see. We've heard a lot about him recently. I can't see Cork City do much change, and neither with Rockmount, because Rockmount aren't really a team to make a lot of changes. They normally only make changes when they're losing. So they've got a couple of attacking options there on the bench, but Rockmount normally stick to what they have. They don't really change that much.
Neil Fenn hasn't really even included anyone on the bench who might likely feature against Waterford on Saturday, so he's obviously prioritising that game over this. He obviously wants to get the win here, but apart from maybe Darragh O'Connor and Corey Galvin in the starting 11, and then the whole 16 for Cork City tonight, there's not too many guys who are likely to feature on Saturday.
No, but I don't know, when you look at it there tonight, who's good enough to actually get in the team, and the team's poor at the minute, and who's good enough, you're probably talking, and as we said, Dara there, Corey Galvin's done alright, but a couple of them look lightweight. Jacob Ryan's looked actually a bit solid in the back. He's
looked solid at the back, and he could be an option for Cork City, because they started Alan Bennett, but I think Benno said himself at the start of the season he's not going to be able to play every game. He started on Sunday, so could Jacob Ryan be a realistic option for Cork City at centre half for league games? Do you think that he's ready for that yet?
Probably not at the minute, because I don't think you can bring a kid in such an important position there into a kind of team that's struggling. I think if they're winning games and they had a chance, especially in the cup against Longford, I think you could give him a chance. But I think at the minute
you can't take the risk.
He's got to go what he knows.
Graham Cummins will be an option there as well, likewise an option up front. What do you make of Graham coming back and saying I'm a centre half all of a sudden?
It's a strange one.
Did you never decide to do that, no?
No. I did have one with Eamon Zaid in Asia. I signed as a striker, and Eamon told me after 2 weeks after me spending all the money on as a striker, he wanted to be Shabby Alonso and play whole midfield.
How did you react to that? Did you put him in there?
Yeah, no. He got told where to go, and he's going up front or he's going home. So yeah, it's kind of worrying as well when players can kind of come in and demand that, I think,
Yeah, but that's where the manager needs to be strong then as well, isn't it? And say you'll be play where you're told kind of thing.
But that's what we were always told. We were like, you're happy to play anywhere, But yeah, it's really strange that Graham wants to play as centre half. I think I read an article recently. He was wondering how his career would have went if he played as centre half. So
he's had an alright career as a striker. I mean, so he's done alright. He's won quite a bit, and he's played in Scotland and in England and so on as well. But he's going to be an option for Cork City. He's injured at the moment, but they're hoping to have him back. Possibly not for the Waterford game on Saturday, but certainly by the Longford or the Sligo games, they're hoping to have Graham Cummins back as an option, be it at centre half or up front. Would he be an option up front, George? Do you think? I mean, he's done alright. He's always got goals. He kind of got a lot of criticism in his second spell at City, but he's always got goals at the same time.
Everyone will get criticism in their second spell.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. But I think that's where maybe he's lacked confidence in himself. I think he's realised that he struggles to score goals, and he knows he's going to get grief if he doesn't get the goals. So it's a lot easier to stay centre back and start hitting goals. But I would certainly play Graham up front. I think you have to know, and I think I'll put a couple of quick lads around him, especially if you're playing one up front.
Before I knew he was injured, I was expecting him to start up front on Sunday.
Yeah, I kind of thought that come to the game. I was wondering what would happen with him, but he's adamant he's a centre back now. So I don't know. You can't kind of say things like that anymore. If he wants to play centre back, he can play centre back.
I'm just getting word that a second Waterford player now is being tested for COVID-19, which could put Saturday's game in jeopardy. I asked Neil Fenn the question today. He was kind of coy about his answer, and he has to be. Would it benefit City for that game to be played in a few weeks instead, when their new signings have done their quarantines, when Garrett Morrissey's back from injury, when Cummins is back from injury? They'd have more options. It would be kind of a blessing in disguise, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I think it'd be do you know what? It would be a good one, because it's a tough game, Munster derby as well, and they don't want to go losing that. So and as you say, it gives a bit of time for the lads to come out of quarantine and get back in and playing. It's worrying that there's two players suspect for COVID. But you don't want to see that, because we all want to see the football back and the game's coming thick and fast.
And Cork City kick off for the second half here at Turner's Cross. Thanks to Tim O'Keefe for informing us of that as well. Thanks, Tim. And here's O'Brien now for Cork City. Slevin, who people have touted as a realistic option for centre half as well, to play alongside Joseph Aluwu.
He is a good player, he has a lovely left foot in him. Just whether they haven't really been tested, these players, you know.
No.
And as we say, Colm, when you're in a relegation battle, you're not going to be testing players.
I mean, there's no margin for error now for Cork City, really, is there?
No, there's not, and it's tough for those young lads as well, because we all want to see him come into the team and playing. But
here's Desmond, gets a shot, easily saved for Brendan O'Connell. What have you made of that guy Desmond in the middle?
I think he's done all right. You know, he's kind of flittered in and out of the game. You know, he's had 1 or 2 kind of snapshots, but still, you know, he's playing their centre midfield against Rockmount. You know, I feel that midfield should show more. You know, should be on the ball more, and creating more. I often think when I watch the games, they stand to get marked. Look, if you look up front now, you see Dara standing still, the 4 of them are standing still up front. So they got nothing to hit.
Here's McCarthy. Plays it right across the back to O'Brien again. A lot of playing around the back for Cork City tonight. O'Brien again moving forward as he likes to do, and he's plenty space to move forward here. Plays a little ball over the top, but easily dealt with. Here's Daniel Duggan for Rockmount. Long ball forward, looking for Sexton. That's going to go out of play, though.
The one thing for sure what will happen in the second half, whether Cork City scoring at Rockmount will get a chance, you know, and you know if
they've showed in the first half they can create some chances.
Yeah, and they have the players to do it. And you know, and they're good in the air as well. They're strong lads.
Here's O'Brien again. I think I've mentioned his name more than anyone tonight. He's had the ball quite a bit there in defence. Cargbo, back to O'Brien.
You'd love to see him just drive into midfield with the ball now, wouldn't you?
He looks well able to do it as well.
Yeah.
Here's Cargbo again on the far right hand side for Cork City. Lays it off to Desmond, who in turn lays it off to O'Brien. O'Brien looking for options. He's looking for Cargbo to show, but he doesn't show for it.
There's no movement up front, is there, you know?
He finds Denanga. Back to O'Brien. And O'Brien goes to that long ball. Right to left again. And again it goes out of play.
That's what you say, you know, when you say about him playing for the first team in the games against Waterford and all that, but like he's playing up there now for the first 45 minutes, yet he's still making the same mistakes and the same options, you know what I mean?
He's doing that ball over and over again.
You know, you've got to start noticing it's not going to happen and change the game up. But like, wouldn't it be nice if you had Corey Gavin or even Dara O'Connor just came and took the ball off him? Just that's how you get into games.
They need to do that. Yeah.
But that's, you know, I know when I used to play, I used to think if I was having a game like this, I think right for the next 5 minutes I'm just going to go get the ball and just change it all up. But they just keep repeating the same stuff, you know. And I actually tried to speak to Dara on this recently, but I didn't have much time with him. He should go and get the ball, and then the defenders on over to come or go with him instead of him standing in the same spot all the time. It's
just being that little bit more clever and kind of thinking about alternative things you can do.
Yeah.
That wasn't great from O'Brien there. Referee says play on. The Rockmount player is down. I'm not quite sure who that is for Rockmount at the moment.
I think it's Murphy, is it?
I think it is Murphy.
There's been a few suspect challenges in this game, isn't there?
Certainly has.
Same with Rockmount there. Kevin O'Connell there, the number 9. You love to see him play up through up front.
Referee's going to drop the ball at the feet of Bosson.
Got to be quicker, Boston. You know, come on, like we're playing in the cup final, just throw it out.
Of course, we could see extra time and penalties here tonight if there isn't a goal in the second half. Desmond back to O'Brien. O'Brien again. Out to Desmond on the right. Desmond brings it forward. He's got Cargbo with him, but he opts for Bargery, who's easily bullied off the ball there. And Murphy wins the throw-in for Rockmount. So it's Sexton with the throw here for Rockmount. Finds the head of Cork City's Eddie Murphy. The amount of footballs they must have in those houses, George, is incredible over the years.
I often, Pat Morley used to say that when Decky Daly used to play, where nobody was allowed to have barbecues on a Sunday until the game was over.
Decky loved to boot a ball, hoof the ball out of the pitch.
Over and kick it straight over the stand.
You'd have played one season with Decky, wouldn't you, in your first season?
Lucky enough to play with Decky. He's a great guy, great leader.
Decky Daly, of course, the 1998 Cup winning captain with Cork City. Great player in defence for Cork City for many years. Cork City on the attack. Here's Darragh O'Connor again. Can he create something here now? Darragh O'Connor crosses the ball in. There's nobody there. It's easily cleared. And again out into those houses on the Derrynane Road. And again, social distancing means that Carrickbo has to go in and get the ball in the stands himself. Might take a while to find that. No, he hasn't, in fairness. Didn't go quite out as far as we thought. So Carrickbo looking for someone to show here for the throw, and again he goes back to Jake O'Brien. O'Brien will play it across to Slevin, and Slevin has Desmond to his left, but he goes back to O'Brien. Here's McCarthy. O'Brien to Galvin. It's a good tackle on Corey Galvin. And here's Hanley for Rockmount. Hanley driving forward, passes it off to Murphy on the far left. Murphy attempts to switch it. Okay. And he's looking for Kevin O'Connell, but the linesman is flagged for offside. Here's Slevin.
Thing in these games, you know, with the Cork City centre backs, if you're playing straight balls into that midfield, the Rockmount lads are going to come in and crunch you, you know. They should come with their body shape up and look differently rather than facing the defender. Because Rockmount lads' eyes are just lighting up when they see the ball coming in.
They're always going to win any physical battle, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, you know. And I think a lot of the Cork City lads tonight, they'll know they're in a big battle tonight when they go home. Like even down the corner, can you not do a quick short one? Nice and quick.
There's no kind of urgency about Cork City.
I think Darragh would ask for it. Look at Darragh's not even demanding it.
It's going to be Desmond to take the corner for Cork City here. He'll look to swing it in. Plenty of options. Big men in there. Looks for O'Brien. Finds Slevin. Slevin fails to do anything there, and Rockmount will deal with that quite easily. Put it out for another corner for Cork City as Desmond goes over to take that again. That was poor, George.
Yeah, it was. It was on both sides, you know. With the Cork City corner was poor. Rockmount's defending was poor. Oh, Darragh, come on.
Another cross swung in. Carrickbo looks to jump. That's a throw in for Rockmount. Booted forward by Daniel Duggan, but easily dealt with by Cork City. Slevin to O'Brien. This is Luke Desmond now, under pressure from Ahern. Carrickbo wins that from Murphy, and Carrickbo making a good run forward here, looking for support. Ken Howie deals with it and puts it out of play for a Cork City throw. That's good defending by Ken Howie, George.
Yeah, he's done it all night, hasn't he? He just read him again. Just, you know, maybe he can be better on the ball there, you know. He's kind of just drifted into him, hasn't he? Yeah. With no ideas in his head.
Referee's going to produce a card here.
Oh, he's got it for chatting back.
Just for mouthing off of the referee. Yellow card for Ken Howie, just as we're talking about his defending.
He's really passionate about Rockmount.
I'd say he picks up quite a few yellow cards in his time.
Yeah. I'd say that he probably has the most ever for Rockmount in the Munster Senior League anyway.
Crosses swung in for City. Brendan O'Connell just kind of palms that away when it looked easy to catch. Murphy looking to win that, but it's dealt with by Carrickbo. Neil Fenn there. Little wry smile in the Cork City dugout. Do it Fenny on the pitch.
They could really do it Fenny on the pitch. He was a great player, wasn't he?
Neil Fenn was a class player. Yeah. One of the most skillful players ever to play for Cork City.
Yeah, I think he probably had the best touch in the League of Ireland.
That was a great team in 2005, George, with yourself and John O'Flynn and Kevin Doyle and Neil Fenn and so many other guys, all top class players.
Yeah, it certainly didn't need forward with enough forwards, didn't we? People forget it was Shane Long, Doyle, Roy O'Donovan.
But even in defence it was excellent with the likes of Dan Murray and Alan Bennett, Hoggy.
Yeah, they were fantastic. Danny Murphy,
obviously. Yeah. Looking for Ronan Hurley. Easily dealt with by Slevin there. Ahern battling. But puts it out for a throw. Ronan Hurley will take the throw for Cork City. Finds Dara O'Connor. O'Connor lays it off to Desmond. Desmond back to O'Brien now. McCarthy out on the right. Here's Bargery. Cork City just toying with the ball at the moment, but not doing a whole lot with it. Here's Corey Galvin. He gets past his man. He'll try and get across in here, Corey Galvin. Looks like he has enough room to do it. Goes to Dara O'Connor. O'Connor try and get a shot in.
No.
Goes straight into the Rockmount defence. And here's Hanley for Rockmount. But again, Hanley failed to kind of do anything with that there, George.
Yeah, you know what, he has the quality to do it, you know, but you wonder, they're just getting tired now, the Rockmount players. They have put a lot of work into the game. Looks like he's got a corner, yeah.
Often with the Munster Senior Cup final, the Munster Senior League teams are at the end of their season, so they're kind of tired, and Cork City are at the beginning of their season. That doesn't apply here tonight because both teams are coming back from a long period of not playing, so they both should be fresh enough, you think? Yeah,
they should, you know. I suppose if anything, you would think the Rockmount boys hadn't as much time to prepare with, you know, with their training sessions compared to Cork City. But you know, I think with games like this, as you say, it's a cup. It is a big game, big event for the Rockmount players, you know, and we don't know really if the Cork City players, or with these titles coming in, do they really want to be out there? So, you know, it's going to be really tough now. Half an hour left for this game, and you know, you just wonder, can Rockmount just keep this constant pressure up? Really, you know, closing the balls down and trying to win it back.
Here's Slevin.
It's just so slow, isn't it, Colm, from Cork City?
It's a very slow pace from Cork City. It has been throughout the game so far. And this is a move they've done time and time over again from Jake O'Brien. And again, that ball out to the same place. This time it might pay off with Dinanga. But it's headed clear by Ken Howie in the Rockmount defence. Out for a throw, which will be taken by Ronan Hurley. Here's Galvin. Galvin likes those little twists and turns, whether he gets somewhere or not with them.
He's had a tough night because James O'Connell's man marking him in midfield, and James likes to stick to you like glue. He'll do exactly what he's told, but you know, he's giving the ball away there now. He's got to get back on his man. Unlucky.
O'Brien, Slevin actually gets the shot in, but I mean, that was never going anywhere near the goal, really, was it?
I think they got to do that. I think the centre backs are going to have to bring the ball and drive into midfield because, you know, it's kind of the only option they have to create things, and they're the ones that time in the ball. So, you know what, the lads should be a bit more confident and just go for it, you know, because they've nothing to lose. Because if they lose, they still have three covering them because Rockmount only have one up front. So
you'd like to see some creativity from the likes of Dara O'Connor or Corey Galvin or maybe Bargery or something as the second half wears on, and as you say, George, the Rockmount players might tire.
Yeah, you would, you know, but just wonder why they're not firing, you know, because they all look a bit sluggish, don't they?
They all look a bit sluggish.
Like, I think if you're looking at the game, you'd probably take the lad Hanley over the Cork City forward players at the minute, wouldn't you?
I think you would, definitely. A couple of changes about to be made for Cork City here. Neil Fenn looking like he's going to make a triple substitution, I think. Charlie Fleming's going to come on. Dale Holland, and I think number 36 is Sam McGrath. .650 people watching us at the moment on Fans Voice TV, so good evening to you tuning in to see Cork City. I'm sure many of you would love to be here tonight, but hopefully we're providing you with good coverage, and hopefully whichever team you're supporting, you'll see a win for either Cork City or Rockmount. So a few changes here now for Cork City. Sam McGrath is on. Slevin is coming off, being replaced by Charlie Fleming. The third substitution is going to be Dale Holland. We're just waiting to see who's going to be coming off for Dale Holland.
I'm surprised James O'Connell hasn't came off and sat in the bench next to Corey Galvin. He's been on him so much.
Luke Desmond is coming off. See him follow Corey Galvin off the pitch. So triple substitution by Neil Fenn there, George. What do you think is the thinking behind that? Was it just to shake things up? Is it to give guys a rest ahead of the weekend? Or
yeah, I often think that, when you take players off like that, maybe they're going thinking of, for the weekend in a bigger game. But do you know what? Those players coming in certainly might give Rockmount a bit more confidence and a bit more belief to go forward, because it's going to be a tough game to try to get into stride in this game, because with the tackles and the way Rockmount are playing. So it's one of those they probably would have preferred just to sit on the bench and watch it.
As I said, over 650 watching on FansVoiceTV tonight, so good evening to all our viewers, and thanks as well to our great camera team and production team here from Unity Media, who are doing a wonderful job on the camera work here at Turner's Cross. In the new era of live streaming and behind closed doors games, don't forget for the League of Ireland games as well, of course, watch LOI.E is where you'll catch them. And we'll hope to bring you more games from Turner's Cross across the season here as well on FansVoiceTV. Who'll be the happier manager so far, do you think, George?
I think definitely Billy Cronin's going to be happy. I think this is really just playing into their hands, and I say they'll just be looking for that one chance, and if they take that, then Cork City are going to find it so hard to get back into the game.
So it's Ken Hoy here looking to take the free kick for Rockmount.
There's such a difference, like physically now, isn't there, with the lads that come on for Cork City?
There really is, a lot smaller. City do have a lot of guys who are quite small in stature, actually. Rockmount with some very, very big players in the side tonight.
There's a lot of tough Norries in there, Pat.
A lot of tough Norries. Were you a tough Norrie, George?
No,
you were just a Norrie.
I had people around me.
Who was the kind of toughest player in your team for Cork City, do you think?
Alan Reynolds was unbelievable. He was the worst person ever to play against. He could put
great to play with, I'd imagine. He was only here for one season in your time.
I've often remember running up here one day, and he just punched me, and then he rolled around the ground, and we were playing against him at Waterford, and I was like, couldn't breathe. The two of us got booked, and I was like, you not slipped off and punching me. Yeah, but
you used to attract the ire of a few players, George.
Yeah. Good days.
The glory days.
Yeah. You do miss them sometimes. But when we played the way Rockmount is now, that's the way it always was in the League of Ireland. Every game.
Yeah.
Screaming, roaring, fighting. Yeah. There's kind of a niceness in it these days, because they all want to play this certain way. But you know what? There's nothing wrong being nasty as well, the way Rockmount can play,
Bit of that is needed, really, and that's something that that hasn't been shown from Cork City at all this season, is that little bit of nastiness and probably a bit of fight. It was very noticeable, the lack of fight. A lot of comments on social media saying that over the weekend after Sunday's game. You need a fighter, and you need fighters both on the pitch and in the dugout, I think.
Yeah, you do, and you know what? I know some of them kind of didn't kind of do well near the end of the career, or the end of the City career with like Shepherd and McCormick and on it. But when they were bang on it, they were on it.
Conor McCormick is a real battler of a player. He actually scored last night for Derry City as well, as the ball is swung in here, but easily headed away by Owen Murphy. And a throw in for Cork City on the far side. It's going to be Cargbo who's going to take it. Interested spectator here tonight as well, Roy Keane, George. You're mentioning tough Norries.
Yeah, Rockman's second favourite son, is it?
After yourself, obviously.
No, he's always been very good to Rockmount. He's always had that close connection with him.
He'd love to see Rockmount get a win here tonight and win their first ever Munster Senior Cup, wouldn't he?
Be great as well, because Rockmount's chairman. Sorry. Jamesy Cochran died, recently, saw in the last few months as well, he was a big Rockmount man, so it'd be nice if they could win that trophy for them as well tonight.
Cork City on the attack again here now. Here's Cian Bargery. And he wins a corner for City. Darragh O'Connor taking his time going over. Looks like he's going to take this corner. Swing it in. Jake O'Brien is going forward for this again. And Charlie Fleming is in there now again. Two kind of big, strong guys. And O'Brien looks like a kind of centre half. A good bang in a header there, but it's gone beyond him. It's gone to Dinanga. It's a poor corner from Darragh O'Connor. Dinanga plays it back out to O'Connor. O'Connor swings in the cross. Looking for Jake O'Brien, but Brendan O'Connell, the Rockmount keeper, wins that easily. Back with Dinanga, who'll try and get a shot in here. but again comes to nothing as the ball rolls out of play. And a throw in for City. It's Dale Holland swings it in. A good ball in from Dale Holland.
Oh, that's unlucky.
That's his first real contribution since he came on. But a nice ball, George.
Yeah, it was a fantastic ball. It was probably the first bit of quality they have, doesn't it, getting into the box for Cork City. Just lucky, who's going to get on the end of things?
That's the problem, and that's been the way all season, really. I mean, who's going to get on the end of any chance that is created? Dinanga was the man given the responsibility tonight. He hasn't done a whole lot, really, has he?
No, he hasn't. You know, he's held the ball up. You know, he's been decent. He's held it up decently enough. But apart from that, you know, he hasn't really looked to get down the side of players. You know, with Carson and Howie and O'Driscoll there, you do want to get down the side of him, and he hasn't really tried. He's tried to play it into their hands, really. You know, trying to hold it up in front of him.
Just to give a further update on that news about Waterford, as the Rockmount bench goes a bit mad again. Waterford FC have suspended all activity after a second player at the club reported COVID-19 symptoms. Their game with Sligo Rovers this evening obviously postponed. A second player has now reported symptoms as the club awaits the results of both tests. Obviously, if they test positive, that game won't go ahead on Saturday for Cork City, so we await that. But I mean, that's worrying for the league, and worrying for will the league get completed if that starts happening at a few clubs, George?
Yeah, you know, just as I say, it's so disappointing to hear that. You know, we kind of thought, you know, maybe we could get on and carry on as normal as you can in these situations. But yeah, it's going to be really tough one for the league now. People trying to play games, you know, talk about the cup and all that. But you know,
lovely flick from Sexton, but straight to Boston. Because it is going to, but that's something that's going to linger over every sport, be it the League of Ireland, be it GAA, be it eventually rugby when it comes back. That they, until there is a vaccine for COVID-19, they're going to be testing players, and guys are going to display symptoms. You can see it over in the States at the moment with some of the sports. There's a lot of guys testing positive in Major League Baseball, and I mean that's just something. If you want sport to continue, that you're going to have to accept that some games will be postponed and rearranged. Yeah,
and unfortunately, that's the world we live in now, you know. And who'd have thought that saying it a year ago, saying something like that? But yeah, it's such a shame, you know, because, you know, sport is like so big in everyone's life, you know, and it's great to have it. And, you know, it was nice getting back last week to see the games again, and, you know, even the Premier League, you know, last year, and we've got the Champions League coming up again. So.
Yeah, and even to have the games behind closed doors, obviously fans love to be at the games. We're some of the lucky ones at the games, George. Loads of fans watching would love to be at the games, but I think fans are just happy for the moment, even just to have football back up and running. I know certainly the Premier League, it was good to watch it on TV, even if fans weren't there. And obviously there's streaming options now, like ourselves here tonight, like the Watch LOI service was on Sunday. So, I mean, there's plenty of options for fans to see the games even if they can't be here.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and like, you know, as you say, I think the live and stream was brilliant for the last weekend for the League of Ireland games, you know, and again tonight, you know, they get the quality that they can sit at home and watch it. I think we're all sick of watching the chase, so
you're a big fan of the chase, are you?
Yeah, you actually remind me of Bradley a little bit.
I've been called a lot worse than Bradley was. He's about 20 or 30 years older than me, but maybe I just look old. Rockmount win the free kick here. Sexton having words to the referee there. Looks like it's going to be, I think it's a Hearn to take the free kick for Rockmount. Boots it forward.
Kevin's good in the air. Kevin should attack that.
You think Kevin O'Connell should have got closer in there?
Kevin's good in the air. He should be attacking that. He's kind of just waited out for it.
He's going to take the corner for Rockmount here now.
He's got a good left foot now.
That's a good chance for Rockmount here as they get a few players forward. Some of their big men heading forward there now.
Do you not get that feeling you think it's going to happen, that Rockmount are going to score at some stage?
You can see the likes of Keane O'Driscoll, Jason Sexton and so on, some of their big players in there. Hanley. And this corner is swung in by O'Connell. Nobody there. Another chance for Rockmount if they can get the cross back in here again.
Chance.
Up for Sexton. Headed away. O'Connell will try a shot. And it's a good save by Boston.
Oh, how unlucky.
And that was an excellent chance for Rockmount. O'Connell got the shot in, and it was a great save by Boston. Sexton looked like he went for the follow-up, but we're rolling into the hands of Boston, and that's probably their best chance of the game, I think, George.
I said before the game, Kevin O'Connell's got great quality, you know, he's got a great left foot, and he's a great finisher, you know. Great save. Very unlucky there, you know, that's that chance that Rockmount wanted. Just see now whether they can create another one, but I'm sure Kevin O'Connell could get into the game, you know, for the last 20 minutes, you know, he could make things happen for Rockmount.
And if it wasn't for that save by Boston, Rockmount would be in the lead here. Again, as we mentioned earlier, it's going to be a close battle for the season, I think. As you said, if Boston remains here for the season, between himself and Mark McNulty for that number one spot.
it is going to be a close one. You don't know what Fenny's thinking at the minute. It's kind of strange. Like, I thought maybe he might start on Sunday, but obviously Null's got the nod. But Null's is looking down as the coaching route as well. So you kind of wonder what way is Null's thinking. But it will be very interesting over the next few weeks to see who gets the number 1 spot.
Here's Kevin O'Connell again. Here's Ahern. Sexton.
Oh.
There was no reason to try a shot from there from Jason Sexton, but he did nonetheless, and it's back with Cork City. Here's Charlie Fleming. Back to Boston. And Rockmount, you can see now, have more players up the pitch all of a sudden.
Yeah, and you know what, if I was Billy now, I'd probably maybe take off Duggan and bring on Evan Murray and just give him a run, because he's got those fresh legs, and he can cause problems for him. He started really up to the last game, but I think they're telling him now to go for a little warm-up, so hopefully we might see a fresh change.
Do you think they need a change at this stage?
I think maybe Duggan looks a bit tired, the midfield, maybe James O'Connell has done a lot of running as well. He looks like he's holding his leg. So, I think Rockman might have to make a couple of changes here.
It's Charlie Fleming for City.
Great turn.
Lovely turn from Dale Hollins. See, normally the corner boys would be over there now to give the ball back to Boston, but they're missed by their presence as well, aren't they?
They're all missed, aren't they? It goes to show, football. Fans make football matches.
Fans are integral, and atmosphere is integral to football.
You often think as a player, you probably don't need the fans, but I think especially with COVID, it's showing how much you do need fans of football again.
Absolutely. There's going to be a change here now for Rockmount, and actually a change for Cork City as well. And this guy's got Elliott's jersey, but this guy isn't Elliott. I don't think any, because Elliott is in quarantine. And 37 on our team sheet is Sean Kennedy. He's wearing Elliott on the back of his jersey. He's 37, Sean Kennedy, on our team sheet here, because Kid Elliott is one of the new signings, and he is in quarantine at the moment, along with Scotty Fennick, our other new signing.
It's good way not to get blamed for anything in it.
Yeah, blame it on Elliott.
Yeah.
Fans could hate Elliott before he ever plays a game if he does something wrong here. Here's Jake O'Brien. Wins a throw. There's Alan Bennett in the Cork City dugout as well. A great presence in the coaching team, as well as being available as a player.
Oh, it is. Bennett's a great guy. You know what? He's Cork City through and through, and and what's interesting? He's at youth team games. He's at the first team games, at these games. He's always around. You never not see him.
Real Cork City clubman and a great guy. Yeah. Long ball forward, nobody there. Ken Hoey will shepherd that out of play for a Rockmount throw.
Ken Hoey's done well for a 40-year-old, isn't he?
He is, isn't he? Yeah. It's a good presence at the back there.
Great touch.
Nice turn by Hanley. Keeps possession. He's doing well here. Plays it off to Ahern. Wins the tackle. O'Brien should be okay here. Back to Boston. Boston under pressure from Kevin O'Connell. Here's O'Brien again. It's Charlie Fleming on the far side. Good to see him back from injury. As we mentioned earlier, there was talk that Charlie Fleming might be out for the remainder of the season, or certainly for quite a few games, but he's obviously fit enough to play here tonight. And he's a player who could feature in some of the league games towards the season, the next 12 games as well.
He done well when he came in last year. Was maybe the Bulls game was the first game he played? I remember playing right back.
Here's Eddie McCarthy. Holland. Here's Fleming again. Fleming goes to the long ball. Could be too much in that. He's looking for Cargbo. Cian Bargery.
He's not going to win that one, is he?
Bargery's got a tough job there, up against guys twice his size pretty much. Here's Bargery again now. Looking for some options. Takes a shot himself. Pound away by Brendan O'Connell. And it's out for a Cork City throw on the far side. It's going to be Cargbo taking the throw for City by the looks of it. This is McGrath, Cargbo. And it's another Cork City throw.
I think maybe the Rockmount lads are starting to look a little bit tired, isn't it? Probably just
you kind of predicted that was going to happen, didn't you? And looks like they are going to make another change here now.
Joe Meany, is it?
Joe Meany's going to come on for Rockmount in the next couple of minutes. Billy Cronin just having a couple of words with him, a little bit of encouragement, offering him a little bit of advice as Cargbo takes the throw on the far side. And it's Rockmount winning the throw this time. Seem to be dealing quite easily with what Cork City are throwing at them at the moment. It's Jason Sexton with the throw for Rockmount. As the linesman brings up the flag for a change for Rockmount.
Yeah, I thought Duggan was starting to look a bit quiet.
Daniel Duggan coming off, yeah. How do you think Daniel Duggan has done, George?
I think he's done really well. He's put in a lot of hard work. You know, he's nicked the ball off the midfield a lot of the times. He hasn't had a whole lot of service, but you know, Dougie's always been in that. He'll give you everything, and he has, and he's definitely done that tonight. And do you know what's probably a good idea, just bringing on some fresh legs now. Do
you know much about this guy Joe Meany coming on for Rockmount?
I don't know a whole lot about Joe. I know speaking to Ethan, you know, he really rates him, the striker. So be interesting to see how he does now.
So it's Sexton with a throw for Rockmount. Flicked on by Ahern. Straight to the Cork City player, Charlie Fleming. And Jake O'Brien now again. Out to McCarthy. McCarthy plays it forward to Denanga. And Denanga wins the free kick.
I think when you get tired down at Carson, you're starting to
just a little shove in the back, like yeah. Charlie Fleming looks a strong guy for a guy of his age as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, they do, you know, and a lot of those young lads, they do look strong, you know. Your two centre backs there, you know, and Charlie Fleming, you know, the proper athletes, aren't they? They look it.
This is Kennedy with Elliott's jersey. Takes the free kick. It's a terrible free kick. He was trying to do a short one to Ronan Hurley. Not quite sure what he was trying there as Ken Hoy clears the ball long for Rockmount. Header down from Hanley. It goes to Eddie McCarthy for Cork City. McGrath to McCarthy. This is Kennedy again. Kennedy takes a weak shot and straight into the hands of Brendan O'Connell in the Rockmount goal.
A little bit better player by Cork City, but
it's nice play, but it's not. There's no end product on it again.
No, there's no kind of finish. There's no conviction in it.
Tries a very speculative shot from there. What was he doing there, George?
Oh, I don't know. Chalky could come up with anything. He's actually looked tired, isn't he? Chalky second half.
He has in the second half. He was a lot more lively in the first half, and he did look like probably Rockmount's best player in the first half.
Yeah, he did.
Here's McCarthy.
See how they react when
the free kick.
When they hear that Billy Cronin scream, how they react, isn't it? It's amazing.
Be interesting to see what Cork City do here. This is a good chance for them to create a chance. So it's both Ronan Hurley and Kennedy over the ball here. Looks like Hurley's going to swing it in. Nope, it's Kennedy.
Oh no!
Again, trying a shot, but I mean, barely got it off the ground.
You think when you
think there'd be more ideas there, George, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you know, but that's what they've lacked ideas. They always lack ideas, and like even that, you know, you're coming on, you're fresh. Like, you know, it isn't too hard just to put a ball into the box, you know, from like 10 or 15 yards out.
Where does that lack of ideas come from? Is that down to the coaching, or do they think that's the players themselves?
It's a tough one, I think, because the players.
Or is it just a lack of experience for these young guys?
I think it's a bit of everything, because I'm sure if he was playing an under-19s game, he probably would have whipped it in, you know. So you don't know what's going on with the players, you know, and they're probably watching every weekend what's going on in the first team, so they're probably just in the same mode, you know. The training's probably in that direction, so they're probably like, you know, they're probably just doing what everyone else is doing, unfortunately.
Which is not what we want to see at Cork City at the moment, but we're seeing a lot of it. Bit of head tennis over on the far side. Ends with a throw-in for Rockmount.
the game's really there for the taking for both teams, really, isn't it?
It is.
They've just kind of got.
I think one goal will nick this at this stage.
Yeah.
Sexton will take the throw for Rockmount as they look to carve out a chance here. Finds Hanley. Hanley under pressure from 3 Cork City players, manages to get it back to Sexton. Looks for O'Connell, but it's cleared away by O'Brien. Booted forward by Ken Hoey. Jake O'Brien will win that with his head. Ahern. Ronan Hurley should deal with this. Gets a little header forward to Denanga. Denanga doesn't win that. And here's Charlie Fleming back to Boston. O'Brien now.
So much space now.
Here's Cargbo. Cargbo, plenty of space going forward. This is Bargery. Bargery gets a cross in and wins a corner for Cork City. I mean, City need to start taking advantage of these chances now they've been creating, George.
Yeah, and I think, especially in the last few minutes, the Rockmount lads are getting tired, And like you look out there, there's 20 yards of space there when he's run into the Rockmount half. So, the Cork City lads' fitness should shine through now.
So the corner is, I was going to say the corner is swung. It didn't really get a chance to be swung in.
So bad.
Very poor.
It's every set piece.
City have been very poor at the set pieces in general tonight, George.
They've been poor. How many times has it hit the first man? That's something like as a manager, like you'd be tearing your hair out when players do that. You can get away with once, man, but you can't get away with it 6-7 times.
And you would expect better against a Munster Senior League team, even though Rockmount are a good side, but at the same time, you would expect better from Cork City.
Yeah, definitely, just that bit of quality. But they've lacked it. Like, if you're looking at it, I'd nearly take Hanley and O'Connell and play them up front for Cork City.
They're the kind of players you need.
Yeah.
And it's something you kind of alluded to at half-time. Do you think they'd be better off plucking a guy like that from the Munster Senior League, which is something that would have been done before with, say, Marcus Sullivan when John Caulfield signed him in the first spell, and he worked out quite well, rather than getting these guys from the lower leagues in England who mightn't really care too much and just want to pick up a few quid and come over to Ireland?
I think at the minute I would actually prefer have the Kevin O'Connells and Hanley, and would be interesting why the club don't do it and just get him in, because I'm sure they would all love a chance to play for Cork City.
Absolutely.
But he does look like he has the quality. Oh, is there in trouble?
And here we go. Pressure here for Cork City. Rockmount bench is looking for a penalty. There was never a penalty. As the ball goes back to Kevin O'Connell here, he looked to carve out another chance. Both a Rockmount and a Cork City player down in the box as the ball goes out of play, and the referee will probably call for some medical attention here for those players as both physios run onto the pitch.
It's tough tackle. I think if Chalky got that in the first 5 minutes, he goes in. I think he's just tired. He just couldn't get there.
He would have scored that in the first half.
Legs didn't get there.
And we mentioned that a few minutes ago that he was starting to look tired, and that showed there with that chance then. A little bit of a chance for the players to get a water break here now, as a few of them come over to the bench. It's a chance for Neil Fenn or Alan Bennett or Joe Gamble to have a word, maybe, and offer a few words of advice as well, you'd think.
Ben has been there loads of times, hasn't he? He's played in these games. He knows
the story. Very calm kind of figure as well, isn't he?
He is. He likes to think he's cool, but he's not really.
Never as cool as you, Georgie, over the years.
No. Different categories.
And Fenn is rounding up a few of the players, offering some tactical advice. And he doesn't look happy, sure he doesn't, Fenny?
I don't think Fenny's looked happy for a long time, has he? I think sometimes he's looking in disbelief most of the time. Thankfully both players are okay anyway.
Yeah, all good. Just a bit of tiredness really, and just a little clash. So it's the Rockmount throw here. That's going to be Carson takes the throw. Here's Hanley. Looking lively, but it comes to nothing. And it's Eddie McGrath plays it out of the back for Cork City. Bargery looking to play a nice ball. Kevin O'Connell plays it out to Murphy. Long ball forward, it's out for Cork City. Throw. Billy Cronin is losing it on the sideline here, the Rockmount manager. He's not happy with the referee there.
No, I think it was a Rockmount throw-in, but And to be fair, this is the best I've seen the Rockmount bench.
They're making up for the lack of the shed tonight anyway.
There must no rise here.
Roy's just behind the Rockmount bench, just up a level. Roy Keane, and absolutely probably Rockmount's biggest legend of all time, or second after yourself, as you said, George, obviously. But he's not been too vocal so far. Maybe they need maybe Cork City need Roy Keane to go down and start shouting at them and see what happens.
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Do you think he'd ever come and manage the club, or would he consider himself too big to manage Cork City?
I don't think it's going to be something kind of an option for Roy, would it? You know, I think he's kind of lives in the UK, so I doubt it. I would really doubt it. I think if he wanted to, he could come back.
Do you think it's the club would offer him the job, or is that a no-brainer?
Cork City.
Yeah,
you'd have to get Roy back.
There's someone near him shouting, but it's not Roy over there in the stand. Here's Cargbo with the throw-in. Back to Cargbo. Cargbo with nice space here, making a run forward now. Gets past the Rockmount player. Will he go all the way himself? He doesn't. He switches it off to Kennedy. Nice trickery from Kennedy. Back to Cargbo. Cargbo gets the shot in. Well defended by Rockmount. Here's Bargery looking to cross it in. Again defended by Rockmount. And back to Bargery. Bargery will get another chance here. And he wins the corner.
A little bit better. Nice feed at the edge of the box.
Absolutely.
I do think if Rockmount don't make a couple of changes now, they're going to struggle. They really need to make a change.
Heading into the closing stages of the game here, they are starting to look a little bit tired, and Cork City attacking quite a bit here. But again, we haven't seen much end product from Cork City, but hopefully that may change as this corner is about to go in here. A very poor corner again, George. They've got lucky that it's gone back to McCarthy. Here's O'Brien. Kennedy tries to get the shot. It's Charlie Fleming on the far side now. Charlie Fleming on the right hand side looking to cross in, shimmies past and wins a free kick, and there's going to be a booking here as well, I think.
Challenge.
I think that's a Hearn who got booked there for Rockmount.
Yeah, Danny Hearn. Just, I think he's kind of tired and he's just thrown the leg in. If I had those Cork City players, I'd actually bring them all in for 2 hours tomorrow taking set pieces.
They've looked terrible from set pieces, haven't they? As they get an opportunity with one again here now. And it looks like Bargery to swing this in. He actually runs over it.
None again. Just can't even get it off the floor.
That's been the story of the game for Cork City. Corners, free kicks and everything. They're just rolling along the ground, George. They're not getting them swung in. They're not getting them off the ground. And they're not creating, essentially, with them.
That's kind of embarrassing when you're a professional player, isn't it? Well, that's probably about 20 set pieces they've done.
So you'd love to go down there and take a free kick yourself now, would you?
I know. Find a pair of boots.
Have to be white, though, wouldn't they? Murphy trying to play it forward for Rockmount. Cork City back in possession.
Get Cork. They're out of shape now, Rockmount.
And here's Ronan Hurley powering forward now. This is the time Cork City could sneak a winner. Hurley with the cross. Straight into the hands of Brendan O'Connell in the Rockmount goal. O'Connell with the kick out of his hands. To another O'Connell. Rockmount now looking to create something here. It's Joe Meany, the substitute who came on a little while ago. And Kevin O'Connell wins that throw for Rockmount. In a dangerous position, and even though they are looking tired, I mean, they do have the players who can score up there.
Oh, they do, definitely, I think one good ball into handy there, know what's going to happen, or Kevin gets that half chance.
Swung in. Looking for Hanley. But it'll be Dale Holland to boot it away to safety. But it goes to Sexton, the Rockmount player. He's beaten by Bargery, and now Rockmount are outnumbered here. Here's Bargery with a chance.
No.
And it's offside.
Oh my God.
But I mean, Cork City did catch Rockmount on the break there.
Yeah, but you've got to see that, Colm. You can see he's 2 or 3 yards ahead of him. But that's what Rockmount, that's what I said. If Rockmount don't make those changes, it's going to happen now, because they're starting to open up straight through the middle, and the Cork City lads will pick them up.
And they took a while to get back there as well, didn't they, George?
They do. They're looking at tired. You look at Collins tired, Danny Hearn's tired. The 3 centre backs have done really well for Rockmount.
We're heading into the closing stages of the game. Extra time and penalties will follow as the 4th official puts up his board for 3 minutes I've had a time.
I take it we're not going to Lennox's tonight.
We're not going to Lennox's tonight. And with the pub opening hours, we won't even get a pint now either, George.
Cheap date.
Brendan O'Connell with the kick out. Here's Liam Bosson. Either side will be hoping to get one last chance here in injury time. Neither side will particularly want to play another 30 minutes of extra time.
That's not good.
Here's Eddie McCarthy for Cork City. Finds Sam McGrath. McGrath will take a shot, but I mean that's well over the bar again.
At least since he's come on, he's tried to make things
happen. He has tried to make things happen.
Midfield.
It looks like Rockmount are going to make another change here in injury time, and I think it's going to be Dean Leahy who's going to come on for Rockmount in just a second. Looks like a young player for Rockmount, George. You know much about him?
Yeah, Dean's a good player. He normally plays in around midfield. I'm surprised really he hasn't gone with Evan Murray. Evan's normally the one that came in. But I think Rockmount do need to sort up that midfield there. He's come on out for James O'Connor. James has played really well tonight.
James has done well tonight. And a big round of applause from the Rockmount bench, from Roy Keane and some other Rockmount supporters here as well.
Done very well.
And Dean Leahy comes in for the closing stages. I mean, they'll be looking at fresh legs now for extra time in terms of having him there, won't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could tell, though, they were getting through the middle a lot easier, weren't they, in the last 5-6 minutes. So he's trying to just block that off. So it's
Brendan O'Connell with the goal kick for Rockmount here. He's not really been threatened at any stage very much, has Brendan O'Connell?
No, he hasn't. He said his kicking hasn't been great tonight.
He's looked nervy from the start, so you'd wonder if Cork City put him under more pressure, would it have worked out for them?
Yeah, even like with all those set pieces they had, if they put him on top of him, but they haven't the whole game. But it looks like it's going to be extra time, so let's see what happens.
Hanley possibly carving out one last chance here for Rockmount as he spreads the ball across.
Great ball. Chance.
And there is a real chance here now. Shot away. Still in Rockmount. This is Dean Leahy's first touch of the ball now. There's Roy Keane there in the stand, if you can just see him. Here supporting Rockmount tonight. Roy Keane, a Rockmount legend. As Cork City go on the attack again. This is Kennedy on the left. He has plenty room here. He needs Cork City players to get in the box fast. He crosses one in. Tries to find Bargery, but that's a great interception from Jason Sexton, who looks to have injured himself in the process. Maybe just a bit of cramp, George.
Yeah, but he's put in a lot of work today. Hasn't even enough from the first minute. But it does. I worry about Rockmount now because the lads are starting to really look tired, haven't they?
Would you fancy Cork City in extra time?
I think so. Yeah, I think Cork City with their fresh legs probably would do. They're kind of getting in down through the middle too easy now, I think.
There was a time when Munster Senior Cup finals were almost a formality for Cork City, that they'd win them 4 or 5-0 a lot of the time, but I mean it's been far from like that tonight.
Yeah, I know, and when like games like this and conditions like this, it does become a really tough game, and we all know the Rockmount boys are always going to play, give it everything, and they have done exactly that again. But they just seem to be just rushing their clearances now, don't they, the Rockmount lads? And it's all just last leg in and last minute kind of the last.
Sure is, and they'll even be grateful for a 3, 4, 5 minute break here before the extra time starts, I think, just to kind of regroup and get themselves together. And you'd imagine the referee will probably blow the full time whistle from this kick out from Brendan O'Connell. Again, if you've been watching with us on Fans Voice TV tonight, thank you for tuning in as we bring the Munster Senior Cup final to you in your homes for this behind closed doors games in the era of COVID football. And do stay with us for extra time and maybe penalties as Hanley goes forward, but the linesman has the offside flag up. And that is the full-time whistle, George, here at Turner's Cross of 90 minutes, but it's not all we have because we do have extra time to come. No goals whatsoever, And who's going to be the happier side here? I mean, Rockmount will be delighted that they've taken the game to extra time, and Cork City, I would think, would be very, very disappointed that they've not seen it out in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. I think Rockmount, they're after giving a great account of themselves. I think they are obviously tired there the last 5 or 10 minutes because they put everything into the game. I think Cork City just showed the lack of quality they have. The inexperience of the lads. Like we know we've gone on about with the set pieces. Just been complete joke tonight. You've got to be able to take corners and put them in on top of the defenders and the goalies. But I think Rockmount, if they don't make changes and they don't tighten up their midfield here now, I think Cork City probably do have the legs to tear them open. So it just depends on what Billy Cronin does in the next few minutes.
Rockmount have a couple of options on the bench there. You mentioned Evan Murray a little while ago. He'd be a good option to throw on, maybe.
I think Evan, he works hard. I think he could probably bring Evan in on the wing or play him in the number 10 position. So I'd be really surprised if Evan doesn't come on. But I would worry about that centre midfield there. Maybe if they brought an extra person in just to help the lads. But Rockmount probably look to get it to penalties now, I think.
Absolutely. Another 30 minutes of football to come here at Turner's Cross, live on Fans Voice TV in the Munster Senior Cup final. Cork City going for 4 Munster Senior Cup wins in a row, and Rockmount hoping they can upset the apple cart and get the win here as well in extra time. We could see penalties, as George mentioned, but Neil Fenn and Joe Gamble have all the Cork City players around in a huddle here now, and Neil Fenn is giving them instructions. It looks, as we said, George, that he doesn't look too happy at all, and Joe Gamble looks like he wants to kill someone, actually.
Yeah, but, they've been there and done that. Like they have been disappointed tonight. They're probably looking at him going, what more can we do with you? But I think it's lucky Fenny's speaking and not Joey. I suppose we'll be here.
Joe might grab someone by the neck or something.
Yeah, Joey would kick off. But
what would they be saying to them there now, George, do you think? I mean, what would you say if you were down there?
I think they just said, they need to just have more character, get on the ball. At the end of the day, they're playing a team, a lot of leagues below them. So they should be showing that they're better players. But I think the best players on the pitch tonight really have come from the Rockmount side.
Yeah, certainly some lively players on the Rockmount side. Who would you single out? Maybe the likes of Hanley, Kevin O'Connell, Murphy on the far side there as well.
Yeah, Murphy's done really well. I think Carson's done well, and I think Howie has had a great game as well. He just had his normal game for Rockmount. But getting back to Fenny, you just wonder what Fenny can say to these lads. Is like, how does he spur them on? How do they get that little spark out of him?
He does kind of seem in recent games that he's kind of going, oh my God, what the hell can I do here?
Yeah, I get that feeling as well when I watch it. Yeah, definitely. But he probably is thinking, what the hell am I going to do?
He's hoping for his first trophy as Cork City manager, at least Neil Fenn tonight, and he might just well get it in the extra time here at Turner's Cross tonight in the Munster Senior Cup final, as both teams take to the pitch once again. With 30 more minutes to come here in very bad conditions. The rain is coming down quite heavy. It has been for most of the game, and it's continued. It's a rainfall warning in place right across Cork tonight for very heavy rainfall. They're expecting between 20 millimetres and 40 millimetres of rainfall in Cork overnight, and quite a bit of that is landing on the Turner's Cross pitch at the moment. So it's going to be quite slippy for the players, George, the more rain that falls and the more as time goes on as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I think it'll probably more affect, the substitutes coming on. I think the lads that have been playing from the start now are kind of
used to it,
well into the game. But it's going to be really interesting just looking at the shape there now of Rockmount. It looks like Kevin O'Connell's gone back up front. Danny looked tired near the end. Maybe that breaks now can just kind of get him back on again.
Those few minutes might help players on both sides, you'd imagine, as the game resumes here at Turner's Cross. Extra time in the Munster Senior Cup final. Here's Cian Bargery for Cork City, battling with Jason Sexton, who wins the ball there for a throw-in.
He's played well as well tonight, Sexton, hasn't he?
He has. He's done very well in the defence for Rockmount. So it'll be Bargery take the throw-in. Looking for options. Not much options in there for him at the moment. He's looking for Denanga, but he can't get it that far. McGrath tries to win the header there. He's not tall enough. A good shot away by Dale Holland. Here's Kevin O'Connell battling to win that ball. Here's Denanga for Cork City. Again, a good tackle there. Ken Hoy, I think. And the cross swung in.
He's gone in, is he?
A little bit too much in that. Cian Bargery manages to win it in a dangerous position. Well fisted away by Brendan O'Connell in the Rockmount goal. And he's hurt himself in the process.
Himself and Ken Hoey's clashed.
I think he collided with one of his own players, Ken Hoey, yeah. And that was very close to being a goal for Cork City, George.
I was unlucky. He was great. He's done well to get his leg into it, to get that little chip over. But it's a bit worrying there. It's not normally that Hoey stays down.
Both players are down. Now Brendan O'Connell looks like he's about to get back up. He should be okay. But Ken Howie, as you say, is down. And he's not a guy to stay down unless he has to, I'd say, George.
No, he's a tough lad, Howie. So, if he's staying down, he's definitely he's got a good knock there.
Who would be an option on the bench now to bring on for him if necessary?
I don't know really what he could do, because, there are a lot of younger lads there now that no way as with the experience of Howie there. So I don't know whether would he just go back into a 4-4-2 and just have O'Driscoll and Carson come in as the centre backs, and maybe, as we said, bring on Evan Murray or something like that. They could play on the right hand side.
Well, Ken Howie getting treatment here now in the Rockmount goal. The Rockmount physio tending to him, and he's still down. So we hope that he's all right. And he looks to be all right. He's certainly sitting up now anyway.
Brendan's a big guy to be running into, isn't he?
Brendan is a big man. He always has been. I know him from schoolboys football many years ago down in Glanmire with Riverstown, and he's been a great keeper over the years, really, for many clubs. Great spells with UCC over the years and so on as well. Brendan O'Connell. Ken Hoey just kind of being he looks in pain, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks like he's after taking a good bit of a knock there. He looks a bit shaken.
Getting to his feet now. And he looks to be okay, George. Not too soon to tell, but
yeah, he'll carry on.
The referee's just asking, is he okay to carry on?
The referee will be all nice to him now, and Howie will be screaming the next 10 minutes.
Send him off then in a few minutes.
Next time the ball comes in.
And he is going to continue, so good to see that he's back on his feet. Ken Howie getting a round of applause from the Rockmount bench and support here tonight as well. Obviously very, very limited amount of supporters here, including Mr. Roy Keane, because of the 200 limit. And this will be the last Cork City game at Turner's Cross that will have that 200 person limit, with the restrictions changing today as of Monday. The announcement earlier on today from Neffet and the Cabinet that outdoor events are set to go to 500 people, meaning that some Cork City season ticket holders, you'd imagine that would mean they could accommodate about 300 to 350 fans, and they'll do some sort of draw with season ticket holders and possibly Forest members to see who can go to those games. But it would be good to have some fans at the games, George, won't it?
Yeah, it'd be nice to get the fans back, and as we were talking about earlier, they do make the games, and yourself on a Friday night there when the shed is bouncing, and it's just the whole buzz around the whole Turner's Cross, and it's just special. They're just special nights, Friday nights, and there's such a family occasion now as well. So, everyone misses it, but it'll be 300 lucky people who get to come in to see it. And
hopefully they'll see some Cork City wins as the season goes on. The next game will be both the games against Longford and Sligo, of course, Longford in the Cup, and a vital game against Sligo in the league as well. And that possible game against Waterford at the weekend, which now looks even more doubtful after a second Waterford player displaying COVID-19 symptoms. So that game, we'd imagine we should know in the next 24 to 48 hours, or possibly even sooner if that game goes ahead.
I think it'd be very surprising now if it will go ahead.
It looks to be in serious jeopardy now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here's Jake O'Brien. He's been solid tonight, Jake O'Brien, for Cork City, without doing anything very spectacular at the same time, George.
Yeah, I know he has been solid. Hasn't really been tested down the side or anything, with his pace and all that. I'd love to have seen him kind of being challenged a little bit more like that. But do you know what? He has looked very, very. He's probably been Cork City's best player, really. Cause
I would have given it to him as well, yeah. I think this is Dale Holland going forward. It is Dale Holland.
Oh.
And he just puts a little bit too much in that. He was looking for Kennedy. Just a little bit too much. And it goes out for a Rockmount goal kick. Gonna say hi to Padder O'Sullivan, who's tweeting, saying that Georgie and Colm are gas. Scotty as well, Wayne Mullins enjoying it. Thanks for tuning in, lads. At FansVoice FC, FansVoiceTV on Twitter is where you'll find this. Here's Ronan Hurley for Cork City. Rockmount back in possession. Here's Hanley.
Rockmount lads are sitting back now, aren't they?
They are sitting back again. This is a bit similar to early in the first half, George. Didn't they play the extra time similar again, and maybe kind of move up a little bit later on?
Yeah, I think they are tired now. They're just willing to sit in and try to get those penalties.
Here's Jake O'Brien. Here's Kennedy with a good chance for a shot. It's a weak shot, and it could have gone in if it was an inch or two more to the right, but I think Brendan O'Connell had that covered anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But Cork City are getting through way more easier now, aren't they, through the middle of the pitch?
Really just need one little chance just to get that one goal. You would think, George, that one goal would be enough to settle it at this stage.
Yeah, I think it's got a 1-0 written all over it.
Or possibly a 0-all.
Yeah.
But again, and I know we're harping on about it at half time, we certainly were. It's another 90 minutes of football without a goal for Cork City. So that's really 7 games now if you count the Munster Cup of competitive games without a goal for Cork City. Or certainly 1 goal, against Finn Harps here.
Yeah, it is concerning, and like they don't really look like scoring anyway, do they? They get these odd breaks in this game, but yeah, as you say, Colm, it's going to be a lot of hard work to try get in a striker for Cork City or get some formation that's going to work.
There's Owen Murphy. Owen Murphy with a chance for Rockmount.
Brilliant.
He's done very well here. Owen Murphy, and he has got the goal for Rockmount. Rockmount take the lead in the Munster Senior Cup final. First half of injury time. He had a number of chances down that end as well in the first half of normal time, Owen Murphy. And he's looked lively throughout for Rockmount. That was a lovely goal. He twisted and turned, got around a few players, and just put it past Liam Boston in the Cork City goal. And George, they'll be delighted with that. He'll be delighted with that. And you can't say they don't deserve it.
No, they do. And you know what? Chalky will be watching this over and over on FansVoiceTV tonight, because that was a great goal.
We'll just say hello to Chalky for when he's watching back tonight. So with that goal.
Chalky. But yeah, it's a great goal. And you know what? It just shows that little bit of class and bit of quality that we were talking about. That Cork City have lacked all night. And I said all along, Rockmount do have those players. When they get into those areas, they can hurt you. And they don't get the chances they normally do as much tonight. But when these chances come on there, what a fantastic goal!
A brilliant goal from Murphy, and definitely well deserved for Rockmount. I think Cork City will not be happy with that. Neil Fenn will not be happy with that, and they need to fight back now. And they have a free kick in a good position here. A free kick at this stage, George, 1-0 down. They can't afford to be wasting their set pieces like they have been doing for the rest of the game.
I think with what's gone on tonight with set pieces, I don't go with much hope for this one anyway.
Cork City with the free kick here. And the shot from Charlie Fleming out for a corner here at FansVoiceTV for the Munster Senior Cup final. Once again, thank you to the lads at Unity Media doing all the camera work, doing a great job tonight. A multi-angle camera work here for the streaming as Cork City go on the attack again. But this is going to be a free out for Rockmount, coming to nothing.
So clever how he just used his body. I think looking back on the goal column, I think Fenny is going to be like what kind of defending was it? Right? There was 2 or 3 defenders around him.
I think Fenny will be watching the footage back as well with the lads, won't he?
Yeah, of course they will. They will watch it, and you know what? Fleming's kind of got turned quick, kind of too easily there. But yeah, it's just been a real poor night all round for Cork City. Do
you think Cork City have what it takes to get back into this game, George? I mean, they don't have a whole lot of time now in extra time. We're coming towards the end of the first half of extra time here.
I think when you play games like this, as long as Rockmount
2 minutes at a time,
like Brendan does there, not give him another chance, that it's going to be tough now, because you're going to hear all the screaming and roaring from the Rockmount team, and they're going to kind of help the lads on for the last bit. Just Cork City lacks so much quality,
It's not often Cork City lose a Munster Senior Cup final, and they haven't done it for quite a few years here at Turner's Cross, so they'll be hoping they can at least get the equaliser and take this game to penalties as we're into the 2 minutes at a time of the first half of extra time here at the Cross in this Munster Senior Cup final. Charlie Fleming on the ball for Cork City now. Plenty of room here, plays it over to Jake O'Brien. There's a lot of noise coming from the Rockmount players and from the Rockmount bench as well, and you wonder will the Cork City players find that intimidating now, George? They're roaring at the ref. They're really getting into it now, aren't they?
Yeah. Welcome to the Munster Senior League, Colm.
A little bit of fisticuffs there, a little bit of pushing and shoving between Eddie McGrath. Charlie Fleming, big man, gets over, and this could escalate here now. Charlie Fleming pushing Ahern, and quite a few players getting involved. Ricardo Zananga is in the middle of that now as well. And Fleming would want to be careful here.
Rockmount do this a lot, but they don't really.
But they really wound up Charlie Fleming here. I mean, he went right in on that. And you'd wonder what Liam Boston is all the way up involved in it now as well, pushing a few players away. Referee needs to calm this down. He needs to blow the whistle for half time now, I think, at this stage. But is he going to show some cards here is the question. He's calling Charlie Fleming over for a word.
Carson's getting called over.
He's just going to have a word, I think. Doesn't look like he's pulling any cards out.
It's a learning experience for all these young Cork City players tonight, because that is an intimidating.
And look, there's more of it here now.
And the Rockmount lads know what they do. They've done this year in year out for the last how many years. So, when you're a kid,
there's a little bit of they were really getting stuck into Eddie Murphy over there, and Charlie Fleming, I suppose, to his credit, in one way, over defending his teammate. But they kind of wanted him to lose the head, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the players.
And there is a booking there.
Yeah,
he's given that to one of the Rockmount players. Not quite certain who was giving it to there, George.
I think that was Joe Meany, was it?
I think it might have been Joe Meany. And it's going to be Dale Holland to take this free kick for Cork City. Could they get a goal here as we head to half time and extra time? Dale Holland swings it in.
There's nothing at
nothing at all, straight to Brendan O'Connell in the Rockmount goal, as the referee blows the half-time whistle in the first half of extra time in the Munster Senior Cup final here at Turner's Cross. We finally had a goal. If you're just tuning in with us here on Fans Voice TV, Rockmount lead Cork City at half-time and extra time by 1-0, thanks to that lovely goal from Owen Murphy. And just while they're taking a small break, let's reflect on the goal again, George. A lovely little finish, and he did a lot of work on his own there, kind of in the box, when he had a few players on him, didn't he?
Yeah, it was fantastic skill, and he's come up through the Cork school boys and all that, and he's always showed that ability, and I think sometimes Chalky can be a bit temperamental, that kind of takes away from his footballing side. But you can't do that as a class goal, and I know his dad's here, they'll be so proud of him scoring, Turner's Cross against Cork City with a goal like that.
And it'll be huge. I mean, Rockmount was, as we said, have been, I think, 4 finals before, and they've lost the final. So if they were to hold out for the next 15 minutes, and if they were to win this would be a huge thing for the club, wouldn't it?
Yes, of course it will. And it'll be a massive night for them to win this, and they're still involved going for the league as well, so it'll be an amazing double if they can do that. So
and you can see now below us here, they're getting back out on the pitch, and they're all clapping their hands, and they're all cheering each other on and encouraging each other. Seems to be a great camaraderie, and I suppose, George, a lot of those players, probably more so than the Cork City players, would have played together for years and would know each other very well.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I think Rockmount's back 3 or back 4, that's the way it's been for the last 4 or 5 years. And as I said before at the start of the game, they know each other's games inside out. They cover each other well, and they know what each other need.
Neil Fenn just giving some instructions there now to Ronan Hurley and some of the other Cork City players ahead of the second half, and he's going to want to win, really. I mean, he was saying today it is a game that he does want to win, even though he fielded a weakened side at his game. He does want to win. I was chatting to him in the training grounds today, Neil Fenn. He obviously wants to win every game at the moment, but he's not winning too many of them.
I suppose if you look at it, if the Waterford game's called off at the weekend, is a kind of a chance missed to put the first team back out again.
And just to give him game time, and just to possibly maybe get a win to get the confidence back up, because confidence, you'd have to think, is down at an all-time low in the Cork City camp. Booted forward, Liam Boston will deal with that quite easily. Here's Charlie Fleming again for Cork City. Fleming looking for Kennedy, doesn't find him. Ronan Hurley now. Here's Kennedy again. A little bit of twisting and turning from Kennedy. Finds his teammate McGrath out to Cargbo on the right.
McGrath's done well since he came on. At least he's tried to get on the ball and play a bit.
He's looked lively.
Yeah.
And it's a Cork City throw. Cargbo goes into the Derrynane stand to fetch the ball again. He's climbing right over the seats. Any other game, there would be, of course, fans in that ground, but in that stand, and there might be for the games in a couple of weeks, but certainly not tonight.
At least he got a hand off the 2 lads that are sitting over there.
There's 2 guys over there who haven't helped out in the slightest.
Must be Rockmount fans.
They're not going to get up off their ashes out to help out at this stage. Here's Dale Holland for Cork City. They go forward in search of that elusive equaliser. Here's Kennedy again. And that's going to be a free for Rockmount. And Rockmount will just slow this down, George, won't they? I mean, this suits them down to the ground.
Out of all the teams in the Munster Senior League now, you want to be Rockmount are the team you want in this situation.
So here's Brendan O'Connell now. Again, will take his time with this. No rushing him whatsoever. He'll waste as much time here as possible, eat up as much time as possible. And Cork City just have over 10 minutes. And we're just getting word in there, George, that despite the earlier stories that there hasn't been a change. Neffet have announced in the outdoor numbers. So we had the earlier stories from the Irish Independent saying it was going up to 500, but it's staying at 200 for another couple of weeks. That means it's going to be another couple of weeks before the fans are back.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I suppose they just have to do what they got to do. Or City going to get them on the break or that.
That announcement made while we were on air here during the game. So numbers staying at 200 for outdoor events for the time being. Apologies for giving out the wrong information. Slightly distracted by the match here as Cork City tried to get an equaliser. And Charlie Fleming swings it in.
Oh, penalty.
And it is? No. Thought he was going to give the penalty there for a second.
I think that's a penalty.
You think Cork City unlucky not to get a penalty there, George?
I think so. I think he's completely blocked him off. You wonder if it was Rockmount and now they were screaming and would they give it?
I mean, there's been no calls for really from the Cork City bench. There wasn't much of a reaction, and you'd imagine they'd have gone wild here on the Rockmount bench if they had done. Here's Brendan O'Connell now again in the Rockmount goal. Cork City with about 10 minutes or so to retain their Munster Senior Cup title, a trophy they've won for the last 3 years under John Caulfield. There's Dale Holland. Dinanga now.
Dinangan's really kind of got lost in the game.
He's faded out of the game completely if he was ever in it to start with. Ronan Hurley. Hollands boots it forward looking for Dinanga. Dinanga might prove us wrong here, create something, but it looks like Rockmount are going to defend this. Ken Hoey quite easily. And it's out for a Cork City throw down the left hand side here.
You have to say to Rockmount, they're a proper team. They stick together, don't they?
They really do.
If one misses a tackle, the other lads in.
Great teamwork there. Hollands. This is Kennedy for Cork City. Out to Cargbo. Bargery tries to get the cross. Sexton blocks. Cargbo with another chance here. Back to Charlie Fleming, who will swing in that cross in a dangerous position, looking for Jake O'Brien. He fails to win the header, and Rockmount will clear this. Liam Bosson up by the halfway line here as Cork City look to push and get that equaliser. Dale Hollands.
Good header back. Oh.
Jake O'Brien with the header.
Chance
for Kennedy. He's shepherded away. Chance might be here for Dinanga still as he's battling to keep the chance alive. And he still has possession, but in a much... Here's Holland. Holland will take a shot. Charlie Fleming with the header. Real battling from both sides now at the moment. Here's Ronan Hurley for Cork City. Forward to Kennedy. Kennedy doing well there. He has Dinanga on the outside. He uses him. Dinanga gets the cross in. And Ronan Hurley in possession here now. Cork City doing their best to create a chance here, George. And the chance is still there for Cork City. Kennedy to get a shot in.
Oh.
And he wins the corner. Good block there as well. Cork City looking lively now.
But you wonder why they haven't been like that the whole game.
Why is it taking 100 and whatever minutes, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you know the Rockmount boys are getting tired now.
Rockmount looking to make another change here. And you mentioned Evan Murray earlier. It looks like Evan Murray is going to come on for Rockmount here now, George.
Probably just want Evan on, come on, to get his pace.
I suppose just fresh legs will be handy for the last 10 minutes or so as well. So it looks like it's Kennedy going to the far side to take this corner for Cork City. Sean Kennedy wearing Kit Elliott's jersey. Nearly every Cork City player forward now. As it's swung in, Charlie Fleming wins the header, looking for Dinanga. It's headed away. Bargery with a handball, and it's a free out, and that was a handball, George, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I just wondered, those corners. Maybe could have not put a left footer on him just to whip a few in on the keeper, because every one of those corners has come out near the edge of the box.
It really has, and I mean it's come to nothing every one of those corners as well at the same time, and this just gives Rockmount another opportunity to eat up some time as they look to make that substitution. And it is Evan Murray who's going to be coming on, and he's going to be replacing the goal scorer Owen Murphy.
Owen couldn't have ran further away in the pitch before, could he?
Right over to the far side.
That old trick.
So he's actually been told to go off the far side now by and that's a COVID-19 rule. That's why Dylan McGlade went off the far side. He's not going to kick the sign like Dylan McGlade did last week though. seems a little bit happier and a little bit
he looks like he's going to be the hero tonight anyway. So
looks like he will if the score stays like this. He certainly will, as Brendan O'Connell takes the free out for Rockmount, boots it all the way up the pitch. Cargbo wins the header and puts it out for a Rockmount throw-in. Again, Sexton in no rush to come up and take this throw-in, as Rockmount look to wind down the clock here and win their first ever Munster Senior Cup title.
Oh, Boston's going to take him on, is he?
This is risky, but he's alright. And it's with Kennedy now, as Cork City look to move forward again. This is McGrath for Cork City. Out wide to Bargery. Bargery looking to get past Sexton in the Rockmount defence. He gets the cross in. It's headed away by Hoey. Charlie Fleming will have a shot from here. Cargbo. Fleming again. And that's cleared well into one of the gardens in the Derrynan Road. And it's a Cork City throw-in. Cargbo to take.
It's going to be a long throw-in.
Bargery actually. Bargery looking for that long throw. He tried that earlier on and didn't quite get it as far as he needed, so we'll see how he gets on here. Long throw-in, headed on. Not quite headed on.
Corner.
It's going to be a corner off the head of Sexton in the Rockmount defence. It's going to be Kennedy to get the corner here. Similar kind of corner again, and easily dealt with by Hearn there from the Rockmount defence. Liam Bosson very far up the pitch. He's under pressure here. I mean, this is ridiculous, George.
It's ridiculous. And
what's he doing?
I think it kind of makes a mockery of the game, when he's doing that. Like, it's bad enough to lose it to Rockmount. Like,
but he wants to get back in the team as well,
But he looks like someone that doesn't really care, does he?
Again, you suggested who knows how long he'll be sticking around Cork City as well, so does he actually care about this?
Oh, two of them go for it.
Cork City on the attack again here now. Here's Dale Holland. There's going to be 1 minute at a time. 1 minute. And Boston could cost it. And this is... that is ridiculous from Cork City. Farcical, I think, really, George. But look at the celebrations from Rockmount. 2-0.
Kevin O'Connell showing off his ginger tan.
Every Rockmount player, every sub, I think a couple of supporters getting involved in the celebration there. A wonderful moment for Rockmount, but we called it a few minutes ago that Liam Boston was going to get caught there, and even when the ball went forward, he didn't go back into his goal, he stayed in the centre circle.
But that shows you his professionalism if you're acting like that in a game like this, because this game does have meaning to people, but he's out there as if it's just like a testimonial kind of game, but yeah, he's kidding himself.
It's not good enough from Cork City, and it's not good enough from Liam Boston, I think, George. I mean, Cork City are on a terrible run of form. You'd expect they'd have wanted to win this game. It's a cup final. It's a game a final they have won so many times over the years. They're going for 4 in a row, and they're 1-0 down deep into injury time, and he's standing there in the centre circle and gives Rockmount a second goal.
Yeah, but let's not take away from the finish as well, though.
That was beautiful.
Line. It's a brilliant goal.
And there is the full-time whistle. Rockmount, Munster Senior Cup champions for the first time in their history. They've beaten a poor Cork City side here tonight, 2-0 with a goal you just saw just a couple of minutes ago there. It was O'Connell with the goal, and of course earlier on you had Owen Murphy with the first goal for Rockmount as well. A great win for Rockmount and their supporters and fans. It's a small amount of fans here tonight, and certainly their bench and their coaches and everything. Their manager Billy Cronin absolutely delighted with that win. It's a result nobody would have predicted, Rockmount winning 2-0 here against Cork City. I mean, it's a very surprising result, George, but a wonderful result for Rockmount, and you got to give them full credit. They deserved it.
You have to give them credit, because you know what, they outwork Cork City. You know what, they put their bodies on the line when they had to, and you know what, they deserved the win. And like 2-0. I thought maybe coming into extra time that Cork City would probably have the legs and probably end up winning 2-0 themselves. But you know what, it shows if you do have a bit of heart and a bit of desire where you can get in football. And I don't think there's not one Cork City player tonight had heart or desire. So Rockmount thoroughly deserved their win, and delighted for them. I'm sure Fenny will have a lot of words with the lads and the younger lads. It's a learning experience from, I think Boston near the end. He obviously needs to have a word with him the way he carried on at the end.
It's just not good enough really from Liam Boston. But I mean, let's concentrate on Rockmount, the team who've won the game for a few minutes, George, before we finish up, and we get to see Rockmount lift the beautiful Munster Senior Cup trophy that's on the pitch at the moment. Some great displays for them tonight. We saw Kevin O'Connell, we saw Owen Murphy, Hanley did well. You mentioned Carson earlier on. Who would you mention there, George? I mean, there's a lot of guys who excel tonight for Rockmount.
Look, I think every single one of them gave everything they had. Even young James O'Connell done really well. Howie was fantastic. He read the game. He had his experience. Brendan pulled off the saves when he needs to in goal. I think Hanley and O'Connell, they looked lively throughout. They made the Cork City defenders work as hard as they could. But even in the midfield, Danny Ahern was good on the ball. It's hard to pick a man to match out of the two of them, or out of the Rockmount team, I should say. But and I think it's a big night for Rockmount. Because as I said to you earlier, their chairman Jamesy Cochran passed away. A few months past.
I mean, this is obviously dedicated to Jamesy, so isn't it?
He would have loved that more than anything tonight. So, it's a great night and a great occasion for Rockmount. And, it just goes to show that, they're one of the top Munster Senior League teams in Cork, and fair play to them.
And a rare smile from the face of Roy Keane in the crowd as well when that second goal went in and he knew Rockmount had the game wrapped up. So a great win, 2-0 for Rockmount here against Cork City. But Neil Fenn has all the Cork City players down there and he's having words with them. And this is embarrassing for Cork City.
It is, and Fenny's probably better. I suppose you can't even take the lads into the changing room now, but you can, I suppose. Yeah. But they probably should be somewhere done like that, because it's not good enough, and it goes to show the heart and spirit. Get your place in football. You don't have to be the greatest of footballers. And the Rockmount players are showing that tonight. With a bit of heart, wanting to win the game.
Great heart, great desire, great fight from the Rockmount team, which was kind of all things we didn't see from Cork City tonight.
Yeah, do you know what? And, there's a lot of young lads there lucky enough to have the Cork City jersey, but I don't think they deserved it tonight.
Yeah.
That's the way it's gone along for a long time now. You got to deserve that jersey. It's a special team club to play for, and that doesn't seem to be happening at the minute.
I mean, in the space of a few days, we've seen Cork City lose 1-0 here to Bowes in a game Bowes very much dominated. We've seen them lose 2-0 to Rockmount here tonight, albeit a lot of different players involved. What can Neil Fenn do? I mean, they have some vital games coming up.
Yeah, what Fenny needs to do is just get him back in the training ground, try to get a bit of confidence back into him. I think, obviously he's lacking through the whole squad. So, they're obviously going to be in a downer now again tomorrow, going into a big game if they do play on at the weekend. But
possibly after this, it would be best for all concerned for Cork City if that game was postponed, and maybe they'd get the Longford Cup game out of the way first of all, and then get back to league action.
Yeah, definitely. And you look there, young Chalky's getting man of the match. He did deserve it. A fantastic goal. And he showed that bit of quality that they needed.
Well deserved man of the match there for Owen Murphy.
And we talked about quality. The 2 goals was quality. The finish and second finish was fantastic. Finish. That's not an easy thing from the halfway line. Especially in the surface as well. So, well deserved there by young Chalky, and delighted he's.
And you can see he's delighted. You can see his teammates are delighted for him. And as I mentioned earlier, that Rockmount team has great camaraderie, George, and they all seem very fond of each other and all good buddies, I think.
Yeah, I know they are. I'm sure they'll have a great couple of days ahead of them now. The Rockmount boys will be fuming and sick for work tomorrow.
They'll have to find some pub with a lock-in to do a few celebrations tonight or something.
The Rockmount bar's closed.
So they're stepping forward here, hopefully now, just in a second, to accept the trophy. Billy Cronin, the Rockmount manager, absolutely delighted, really, you'd imagine, with his players. And there's just going to be a couple of words being said here by the representatives from the MFA, the Munster Football Association, whose trophy this is, and a lot of illustrious names on that trophy over the years of various clubs in the Munster Senior League, and of course of Cork City over the years as well. George, are on it many, many times, but they won't be on it tonight, and it'll be Rockmount for the first time, which is great.
Yeah, it's nice.
Thank Barry, our new man here, to turn us across for the condition of the place and preparing everything so that we could play the match. Thanks, Barry, appreciate that. So, I'll call on the Rockmount captain, Mr. Ken Howie. It's a pleasure. The paparazzi get a few.
When you're ready. Just face this one.
Goalkeeper Brendan's a very good fellow to talk.
Champion!
Yeah, it's coming. Face this one.
Right. We're here with. Am I live? Hello. Good. We're here with Owen Murphy. You might have seen the goal. Oh, what a goal!